is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Slomin Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Slomin Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Slomin Shield.
Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welt Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welt Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, good morning, boys and girls. Hope everyone is doing well on a beautiful Monday. At least I hope it's a beautiful Monday wherever you're at. We are blessed to enjoy this Monday, so it is a good Monday. Even if it's raining or snowing or whatever it is, it's a good Monday because we're here, which is always good. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. It was one of those weekends where it was kind of rough, for basketball fans, University of Miami, FAU fans, as the dream run ends with a thud, unfortunately. I mean, it was the worst case scenario, right? Because both didn't make it. At least if one of them gets there, right now we're talking about one of them playing tonight at 9:00. And we're not talking about either one in the finals, which, obviously the greediest thing in the world would have been for UM and FAU both to advance and get an all South Florida final for the championship. And that would have guaranteed us the Division I and Division II champions in South Florida, which would have been a really cool thing, having Nova Southeastern University as the Division II champion, and then getting FAU or UM, obviously, to win the national championship. It would have been a really cool story, but it just wasn't able to happen. And look, in the end, we're blessed. We're all blessed to be able to watch what the University of Miami has done under Jim Larrañaga for many years now. How many Sweet 16s has this man made? Like 3 of them already, right? So now he's made 2 Final 8s and now a Final 4. And he's made personally 2 Final 4s because he took George Mason. So, I mean, it's amazing. And then Dusty May signed the extension. We'll see now if they can maintain it and get there. You know what I mean? Obviously, the University of Miami program is already established, as I just mentioned. This isn't like their first run. They made it to the Final 8 last year, and they've and under Larrañaga, they've been through 3 Sweet 16s. I believe it's 3. So they have plenty of experience of getting deep, and they get everybody back except I think Jordan Miller, if I'm correct. So they have an opportunity to make an impact. Dusty May's team, most of it comes back too. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they can do. Are we ever going to get this again? No, it's not going to happen. Okay, because it's it's the same silly thing that sometimes happens. You get caught in the moment. Xavier Howard's going to have 10 interceptions this year, every year. No, he's not. That's a once in a lifetime type of thing, and that's what we just enjoyed, a once in a lifetime opportunity, like the Big 3. Like the undefeated season for the Miami Dolphin fan, all these kind of things I will never, ever experience again. You could experience success and moments and a championship over, but there are special moments that you're just never going to relive again. And if you enjoyed it that one moment, that's fantastic, because you'll never, ever be able to experience it again. It's just the way it is. It's, it would be nice to get spoiled. It would be nice to end up with David Robinson and then Tim Duncan, but that's just not normal. It's just not normal. Some people get that, and they get lucky, and they end up with Tom Brady, and they end up on a run where they win, 6 titles. That's just not normal. The Patriot fan will never experience that again. Hell, the Patriot fan may never experience another championship again. Okay? Because they didn't have any championships before that. You know what I'm saying? And these are moments that you kind of just enjoy, and that's what we have to embrace. It was frustrating that got their asses kicked, and they weren't in that game. And, I would figure I'd give UConn the edge tonight. That's for sure. And FAU lost their game on one possession. Just one possession. It's amazing. They couldn't rebound a goddamn free throw. That was the most frustrating couple of moments in basketball history of my life. I don't think I've ever been more frustrated than those couple of moments where FAU kept allowing them to grab a free throw rebound over and over and over again. And brother, they ended up tying that game. I forgot how many points were scored in that whole possession, but it was just ridiculous. And that's where they lost the game. Right there. That whole moment there. Finito. It was over. It was done. You can't allow that to happen. And they allowed that to happen, and it was over. That was it. That was the most demoralizing thing. It was frustrating. It was like, are you kidding me? You're allowing them to get another rebound? Damn, dude, that shit was frustrating. That was rough to watch. That one was, because was never in the game, at least. Okay. But FAU dominated that game. They kind of had it all. They should have won that game. And for a couple of minutes there, they brain farted, and they could not box anybody out and get a damn free throw and end, a rebound and end that thing. That was just terrible. Terrible. I felt horrible for FAU. I felt horrible for their fans, because they're the ones that really had the opportunity to advance. Miami never had an opportunity to advance. They were thoroughly beaten down by UConn. Okay? Isaiah Wong was like out of control. He had 3 turnovers, but he was, wow, dude. And then they picked a terrible time. Pack shot 3 of 10, Wong 4 of 10, Poplar 0 of 7, Miller 4 of 10. They 32%. They just picked a shit night to have a terrible shooting night too, on top of all of that. But at least with the game, it sucked, but they were never in it. With FAU, brother, you lost on the last shot of the game, and it was just, God, that one hurts more because you had that one. That was a game stolen from the jaws of victory, and that was a frustrating part of it. But it's one that we'll never ever experience again. Coolest thing in the world is to have 2 South Florida teams in the Final Four. The nightmare of it is that not one of them ended up advancing to the championship game, because it doesn't, it leaves an unsatisfying taste in your mouth. It's just one of those things that you walk away with unfinished business. You walk away like, wait a minute, this is not right. Somebody's got to advance. And in and FAU couldn't get it done, man. It was just, it's a shame. Oh man, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. Gilbert Martinez. Are you seeing that question there, Sean? Were you surprised Roman won last night? Ha, 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 ha. How could you be surprised when you have the ultimate predictor here? Right, Sean? Huh, Sean?
Yes, almighty one.
That's right, baby. See, what you guys don't know is I'm the fool that writes the wrestling scripts. That's why I know who wins all the time.
Did you write
So,
this
by the
morning?
way, Sean, when are they going to start betting on wrestling? Because I might as well start making money on this shit.
There's already odds out there, just so much that it's not worth it. Like it's like, it just you'll never make money on it. Let's tell you that way. You'll never make money.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah,
Are you sure I won't make money?
You got to put like $1,000 down to win 100.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not good.
Well, it might change now because I don't know if you're covering it later or anything else, but they were sold this morning.
I know.
And
Denver way to go to ruin my KSDT CPA Sports.
No. I just wanted to say, I thought you wrote the script, so I figured you knew about it already.
I know about it. Endeavor, 21 billion now, and all that deal. They own UFC and everything.
Do you believe this? Vince McMahon bought WWE for $1 million in 1982. He sold it in 2023 for $9.3 billion. I didn't do the math, but somebody supposedly did. They said it was a 9,300% increase. I don't know if that's accurate, but
that's impressive. That's almost as impressive as me getting Alethea artificial intelligence coin at under a penny and selling it at 9 pennies. Okay. Yeah. He did a little bit more than 9 times, right?
Just a tad. And he's still being paid. It's amazing. He did a Dana White. He's still making money. And he still got shares. And he's still got love that. Oh.
Yeah. And lawsuits and everything. He's got it all. Vince McMahon is the man. What can I tell you? All right, let's switch gears here. Let's talk a little basketball. Ira Winderman and our Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right, man, it's a good morning. Injective protocol is up 9%. Woo! We got that at 143 in November, Ira. It's at 551 right now. I'm just saying. Anyway.
And you bought 1 million shares?
By the way, not 1 million, but I got a good bag. Mark Cuban is part of that company, Injective Protocol. Actually. So
yeah, he's also owner of the Mavericks. So I wouldn't
know. He made a shitty investment with Kyrie Irving, but with Injective Protocol, he's doing pretty good there on a DeFi. So I got to give him credit because he's smart. I mean, he was part of the internet and what's it called? The audio part of it. What's that called? The Real Audio, I think it was called.
Well, I think he was radio.com at the start, and then he sold it to AOL for basically what started his whole empire. Yeah.
He's because you and I are old enough, we the internet, email, get out of here, crypto's the same shit. And so he's all over this thing, he's really smart. He sees what the hell is coming ahead. And so when I saw him start that company, I go, yeah, I'm in. And it's been good so far. I got to tell you, he's a good lead for some of this stuff. But anyway, let's have some fun. It is not fun because the Brooklyn Nets continue to win. They have a 2-game lead on the Heat. So boys did get it done against the Dynamic Duds, at least on Saturday, 129 to 122.
Yeah, I almost feel like I should be wearing my We're Number 7 shirt because I think the reality is hitting home. They can talk all they want about they didn't want to be in the play-in, but the teams that need to win, like the Knicks did last night against Washington, knocking the Heat out of the race for 5, like the Nets did last night, dramatic finish against Utah, basically securing number 6. The Heat would have to win their Final 4. The Nets would have to go 1-3 or 0-4 against a very soft schedule that includes Orlando and includes Detroit. So we're going to see this week Orlando. We do this Acura Pembroke Pines report, our one we do later in the week also, and our redrecover.com Inside the Paint show with Kurt Heelan. The Heat's going to probably start dialing it back, saying, hey, we're going to be in the play, and we just have to be ready for that. And I'm telling you, a week from now, that's going to be a minefield. Because if you play Toronto in the first round, you're 1-3 against Toronto. If you lose that game and you play Chicago in the second play-in, you're 0-3 against the Bulls. So you know what? As persnickety, as cantankerous as you've been with me the last few weeks, I don't know if I'll have answers for you if we're not talking about a Miami Heat first-round playoff series. And I wrote this to the Sun Sentinel over the weekend. When it comes to most disappointing / frustrating Heat seasons of their 35, this one is absolutely right up there between what you were sold at the start of the season and what you wound up with at the end of the season.
So there's no shot you're following me on this, huh? It's just Spo really, he really fools you that we all were wrong. We had the wrong expectations for this team. And what they did last year was they played over their head like they did in the bubble, like they did with the scrubs at 31-10. Maybe it's just that Spo makes things look better than what they really are. And we're the idiots that fall for it and say, oh, yeah, no, they're that good in the bubble. Well, no, they never got there again. Oh, no, they're that good at 31-10. No, they never got there again. Oh, they were one shot from the finals last year. No, they never got there again. Maybe it's just we have a really kick-ass coach, and he makes things look better than what they really are.
See, I'm going to go a little different direction. Not that that's not part of it, but my direction is going to be this. We use the word in sports, and it's a dangerous word, agendas. And I believe there were agendas that crippled this season. Not that it's necessarily wrong, but they all came together at the worst time. Tyler Hero wanted to be a starter. By God, I've got to prove myself as a starter, even though he's better as a sixth man. That changed the dynamic, number one. From where we remember, Tyler even in the bubble, Big O was great off the bench. He had a huge game against Boston. He was dynamic. Number two, Bam Adebayo. I got to get my 16 to 17 shots, and Pat Riley placating and playing along, and Eric Spoelstra playing along would give him his shots. Well, he became such a focus of the offense, it changed the dynamic to even more of a 2-point shooting team, and their 3-point shooting went to crap. Jimmy Butler.
Well, that's not Bam's fault that the guys around him aren't good enough to be consistent 3-point shooters.
It is when you are forcing so many twos and not allowing the threes to get into a rhythm. Remember, they have always started a 3-point shooter, either Duncan Robinson or Max Strus. Once you inject Tyler Hero in there, you come out at the outset with less of that. So you have that coming into play. So you have those two factors.
You make it sound like this is Ray Allen or Dale Ellis or somebody that's like this long-term 3-point stud.
Duncan Robinson was that. Duncan Robinson at a career arc.
Years. He was that for a couple of years. But that's it.
First 2 prime seasons was very much that. He was Steph Curry, for God's sakes. He was setting records that only Steph Curry had set. My point
but if you're the shit, you're John Sunvold. Anytime you come off the bench, you're gonna light it up. If you're the shit, it doesn't matter if you don't play for a day or two. If you're the shit, if you know how to shoot, it doesn't matter, because I've watched these guys from the end of time, from the beginning of time till now, and I don't care if you're Del Curry, okay? You're just sleeping on the bench like Lou Piniella. Hey, Lou, we need a hit. Hey, Del, we need a 3. You wake up, you get off the bench, and you nail a 3. You're making it sound like these guys are these established guys, and maybe they were just flashes in the pan.
Well, I think you answered your question there.
World.
I think you answered your question, because Duncan Robinson came off the bench out of nowhere against the Knicks, got his chance, and did exactly what you said. Then Saturday against Dallas, he only gets to play 2 minutes. There are so many convoluted interests on this team. Another one, Jimmy Butler pacing himself at $400,000 a game. Big O, we would not be talking 43 wins right now if Jimmy put in the effort in October, November, December, January that we're seeing the relentlessness now.
But you can't because the body's worn out and you tied yourself to this terrible salary. Now you've got to play it out this way, unfortunately, because if he plays regular Jimmy Butler style basketball, he won't last half a season.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. There are so many different elements, and the confluence of all those elements this season torpedoed this season. Even with your praise for Erik Spoelstra and what he can do, they tried to appease too many. They appeased Tyler in starting, appeased Bam in getting his shots, appeased Jimmy and letting him slow play the whole thing, appeased Kyle Lowry with a month off and will play to whatever you do or don't have left. And because they appeased all of that and were left with no backup, first at point guard and only till recently at center, they wound up in these problems. So I think that factors Big O into it also, is that I think there are so many conflicting elements. That's ultimately what hurt them as well. There were too many agendas at play. It's one thing when Pat Riley talks about smiling faces and emojis with LeBron. LeBron can have all the agendas he wants. He's LeBron freaking James. The problem this time is the Heat let lessers than LeBron James dictate their own agendas throughout the roster, and this is where you're left.
Yeah, I see, because then what are we going to say about post-bubble, and then what are we going to say about post-31-10? You know, I think we just bought a load of shit.
I think this is a workable. I think this is a workable, better than number 7 roster if utilized and players stay in their lanes. This was like South Florida traffic. Everyone was zigging and zagging all season. No one stayed in their lane. You're a perfect example. If Erik Spoelstra would truly be able to manage this and not have to worry about egos and saying, Tyler, sixth man, you're great at it, do that. Bam, we love you. But get back to the goddamn pick and roll that was so efficient with Cody Zeller and Jimmy Butler on Saturday and play your role and stay in your lane. No, I want to win this award. I want to start here. I want to get more shots. I want to get more points. This was so.
So you're gonna pay him to play that other role? You're gonna pay him all that money? Then why'd you pay him all that money? To be the super role player again?
Because as a coach and as a team and it's about winning, I don't give a rat's ass what Mickey Harrison or Pat Riley or Andy Ellisberg had to do. We're here. I don't care if you're earning $400,000 a game or $40,000 a game. We are going to make this the best possible thing for the team. That did not happen this year. The agendas were all over the place. The Heat are suffering because of it. Can they reel it back in? I don't know. I don't know if you can put the success genie back in this bottle.
They're done. They're done, Ira. This team's been done for a while, my brother. And the mathematical part of the equation that you don't add, you added another year to the body of Lowry and Jimmy Butler.
Especially Jimmy. I think Jimmy Butler.
From last year. And now next year, what do you think that body's going to look like? One more year.
Oh, I agree. And I think that's why Jimmy took those games off and paced himself in the games as he did, because of the very reason you said. Just like this week, I think he paced himself.
To pace themselves. You pay a superstar to be an anchor, to carry your team. You can't pay them to pace themselves. You know,
it's just him to lead your team. If he has to anchor your team and there's so much ballast around him, Big O, you know this. I have been with you at stations where either the program manager or the owner of the station so made it difficult for you to do your best show that you left. Because after a while, you realize I can't be myself. I can't be the best version of myself. I've got to find something else. I think that's where Jimmy is right now. Now, you can say, oh, boo-hoo, he's the star. Stars lead. This is not a league. You know this, Big O, where only one player lead. LeBron's been on some bad teams the last couple of years. You need talent around you. You need a quality producer that you found in Sean. You need a quality program director if you're doing terrestrial radio. You know that.
But he buried himself. He's the one that brought Lowry, bro. So that's his fault. It's his fault.
Point to the Big O. I totally agree with that. But is this when Pat Riley and Andy Ellisberg say, hey, we ain't listening to the players anymore? They made a mistake. You are correct. You know what? Privately, Jimmy owns up to that also. He thought Kyle Lowry would be better. He thought Kyle Lowry could still be the 2019 championship Kyle Lowry he was on the Raptors. Jimmy Butler screwed up. No doubt about it. Jimmy Butler should now do this in the offseason. Hey, Pat. Hey, Andy. Hey, Nick. Hey, Mickey. Make my roster better. And then he should say nothing else. He shouldn't give him a list of players. He shouldn't say, I want this, this, and this. He should simply tell him this. Make my team better. Let Pat Riley and Andy Ellisberg and Adam Simon go back to doing what they do best. Keep the influence out. You've seen this. LeBron had some very good suggestions over the years. And right, with Mike Miller, Shane Battier, Ray Allen, Chris Anderson. And then he went to the Lakers and he had Russell Westbrook and a bunch of bad suggestions there also. You play Will GM. Yeah, I think, Big O, that's a great point. They learned their lesson. Jimmy Butler has added $30 million of ballast to this salary cap with his poor general managing. You're correct.
I hope that they start steering away from listening to players and go back to, Riley the hard ass.
Absolutely. The difference was Jimmy was in a contract year. He wanted a +1. He had the leverage that he couldn't not placate him and have him walk. You could say all you want, but you wouldn't have had last year's run through the Eastern Conference Finals. So you have to placate to a degree. I think it was a lesson learned all around, including from Jimmy Butler.
It's okay. Do I want that run, or do I also have to take Lowry with it? I'm almost like F the run and F Lowry, bro. I'd rather just get rid of both. I don't care about having the run if I'm stuck with that. I'm stuck with a bum for 3 years, dude.
It's easy to say that now when they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
No, you can say that to other people. You can't say that to me. You can't say that to me because I never wanted Kyle Lowry on this team.
Okay.
I never, ever wanted. You know that. I said it from the get-go. That was a stupid-ass contract. I did not want that guy. I thought it was a terrible deal on their part. Riley effed up in a major way with that one.
And I agree. But Big O, let's walk.
You can't say that too.
Let's walk this back a little. Did you enjoy the Heat's first-round series of eliminating Trae Young and the Hawks? Be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, stop.
Did, Ira, but if I give every Heat fan in the world, I say, remember, they have titles in their experiences. I tell them, erase last year, and you're also able to erase Kyle Lowry from this roster. And everybody will say, screw the Eastern Conference run last year. If we get to dump Kyle Lowry for the next 3 years, we didn't have him last year and this year and next year. Thank the Lord. Let's go. Let's rock.
See, Big O, I'm going to disagree because I think there was so much fun in beating the Hawks, so much enjoyment in eliminating Harden and Embiid.
People on the chat board right now. Ladies and gentlemen, would you want your Eastern Conference attempt last year, or would you rather get rid of Kyle Lowry?
Hindsight.
Okay, run or Lowry? That's the answer. Run or Lowry? Let's see what we got.
Hindsight or hindsight? It's always easier, Big O, to do this in hindsight. All I know is you were having a lot of fun.
You just said that. No, you disagreed with me. You think people would still want to run and accept Lowry. I disagree with you.
Okay.
I disagree with you.
I think if you ask that now,
about it because you didn't win anything.
No, I think if you ask that now, it's easier to say that than if you were asking it then. I think the fact is the Heat were coming off and had a very good season and didn't accept the fact that Kyle Lowry, a year older, needed more of a support system than just Gabe Vincent and no other veteran backup point guard. In other words, you have to prepare when you get older. When you reach an age for Medicare and you have to realize your insurance is going to change, you have to accept that as you get older, the needs become different. The Heat did not. The Heat brought back an older roster, did not augment it. That's why they paid the price. Kyle Lowry, over the first 2 months of this season, was one of the best players on the Heat and one of the most used players minutes-wise in the NBA. Go back and look, Big O. Kyle Lowry was very good at the start of the season. Then age kicked in. Then the knee kicked in.
Kyle Lowry kicked in.
Yes, Kyle Lowry. You know what? You can wear your T-shirt and say Kyle Lowry happens, and I'm not going to disagree with you. I am not going to disagree with you.
It couldn't be more of a disaster signing, the Kyle Lowry signing. I mean, really, the only thing
I can give you one.
The only thing worse is giving Dion Waiters a contract knowing he needed
I can give you one. Duncan Robinson, 5 years, $90 million. Hello.
But at least with Duncan Robinson, at least you're caught in the moment of 2 hot years of shooting. So at least you have that with you. You know what I mean? With Dion Waiters, it was 29 games of playing well, and yet you knew he needed foot surgery. You signed him to a contract, which
that was
these are
that
things
and James Johnson
like,
were lower, but that was lower level money. That was half of Kyle Lowry's money, and you sort of knew that he had the history. That was desperation. Look, the one thing I will agree with you on this on our Acura Pembroke Pines report is you no longer can operate out of desperation. That's when you make your biggest mistakes.
Yes, and I get it. Riles is getting up there in years. You're trying to hurry up. You make some desperation moves, but they've got to show a little bit more patience. And now it's going to take them a couple years to get out of this mess in order to move on to the next chapter.
It's going to take at least 2 years. Your mistakes. You're right. Marlins have done it. They keep going for these 1-year answers. It doesn't work. You can't chase your mistakes. I agree with that. Still, let's let this week play out. Let's let the play-in play out.
Well, at least in baseball, you could buy your way out of it paying a luxury tax. Marlins can't afford to do that. The Heat are stuck because it's a cap thing. Unfortunately, that's what are you going to do? At this point, it's rough waters, as they say. All right, so they're off tonight. Pistons on Tuesday.
Yeah, this is a 3-game trip that you include the Pistons on Tuesday, at Philly on Thursday when Philly might be locked into number 3, at Washington on Friday. I think if the Heat win 2 of their final 4, they'll lock into number 7. I don't see them moving up to number 6. They can't afford to fall to number 8 and play Toronto. But I'm telling you, this playing around in the Eastern Conference is no gimmies for the Miami Heat the way it's set up. So, Big O, I know you hate the rest idea, but I need next Sunday against the Orlando Magic, the Heat to start Omer Yurtseven at center, Udonis Haslem at power forward, Jamal Cain at small forward, Duncan Robinson at the 2, and Victor Oladipo at the 1, and tell them each to play 48 minutes. You've got to come in healthy for those play-in games. You've got to be ready. You've got to assume. And here's the interesting thing, Big O. The Miami Heat never want to look at the downside. Some teams are already selling play-in tickets. For the Miami Heat, there will be a game, the way it's playing out, on April 11th, a week from tomorrow, at Miami-Dade Arena, whatever we're going to call it then, and yet the Heat still haven't put those tickets for sale. You know what, Big O, that's been the story of this season. They're still chasing a dream that's been, to this point, mostly nightmare.
And really, we all know what really has to take place. Feed Cody Zellner. That's all. You feed Cody, and you can ride it all the way to the title. You saw it the other night. I mean, just
and it's actually they've told Cody if the Heat wins a championship, he will get the lifetime membership to Hair Club for Men. So it's a big run for Cody Zeller.
Well, by the way, I saw that he's got a little spot like I used to. We gotta get. He's got the natural yarmulke. My natural yarmulke is disappearing now. We got to get him a Red Recover hat there.
Oh, he already told me. He says when the front meets the back and there's nothing there, that's when it gets shaved. He's saying he's getting married this summer. It'll probably get shaved in August. So if he does come back, he'll come back very much as a new man.
Feed Cody, baby. All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And Wednesday, the redrecover.com. Thursday
yes.
This week is the redrecover.com Inside the Paint Show. Ira, as always, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Hey, and I'll be back to yell at you later in the week. So looking forward to that also. Thanks, Big O.
You got it, Ira. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, man. That is the Acura of Pembroke Pines. By the way, speaking of Acura, besides the great selection, new cars, certified pre-owned, I think I told you on Friday, word has it that you might be able to sign up in August this year. They might start taking in the orders for the new electric car. It's going to have about 300 miles. It's an SUV. There's going to be 2 different ones. It's going to be one that's even a higher level one, probably one that I can't afford. But I'll probably get the cheaper model because, hey, man, I'm a working stiff. What do you want me to do? But anyway, so I heard August that they might be taking, because they want to see what the demand is going to be, so they know what kind of production and all that kind of stuff. And then it could be released sometime in February or March, because it'll be like a 25. So we're a year away from from the car being released. So just in case, if you're thinking about getting an electric car, and if you've watched that commercial, and Larry told me he saw it up close, and it is beautiful, beautiful. So anyway, looking forward to that. That's your Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
And by the way, when you go to the redrecover.com site, you'll see it's turned mostly into doggies for the doggy wraps for their hips. And I have them for our dogs, big dogs, small dogs. They've got the wraps, but they've also got the hats. It's my hat that I use, redrecover.com. That's the one that helps me grow the hair back. You see? There's the red light therapy. There's your battery. Ooh. See, it's rechargeable. You turn it off. There you go. Bam. Bam. So you can hit contact us and tell them you want the hat. If remember, if you just started losing your hair and all that, might help you grow it back. It's not a guarantee, because nothing in life is a guarantee, but it definitely does help, because I'm seeing a difference in my hair. Not just the yarmulke, by the way, not just this part here filling in. It's actually the rest of my hair is actually. And I don't know, man, you might be able to tell. I don't have an interview right now, so I don't need to have my headphones on. But you might be able to tell that my hair, because my wife, when she blow dries my hair, she tells me, no, your hair, I can tell it's fuller. And she should be able to tell, because obviously she's the one that's blow drying it. I see most of you agreed, Lowry. Couple of you have the run, but most of you get rid of Lowry. You gotta. Knight, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, it's like, I want Lamar to win just one playoff game. That's not what he does when he gets to the playoffs. Big O, are the Panthers going to go on a run and sneak in? Well, speaking of the Panthers right now, they have the 9th spot after the weekend. Penguins ended up winning again yesterday, so they leapfrogged the Panthers again to the 8th spot. They have the 86 points. Panthers have 85. Both have played 77 games. Both have 5 games left. Florida takes on Buffalo, Ottawa, at Washington, Toronto, and Carolina. So only one road game out of the 4, but they've got a couple of tough matchups for them. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh, Tuesday, they're at the Devils. Then Thursday, Minnesota. Saturday at Detroit. They take on Chicago and Columbus. So they're playing 2 of the worst teams in the NHL. They've got a couple of tough matchups, but I almost want to say that the Panthers have a slightly more difficult schedule, slightly, just by a hair. I want to say their schedule is a little tougher. I don't even know if they're going to make it, because the Penguins, man, wow, they're playing well too. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough for the Panthers to make it. I feel bad, but they've kind of put themselves in this position, unfortunately, man. So we'll see. Knight, another one, he says, my point, neither dies the Heat. Okay. Big O, I believe that the Heat can trade Lowry in his last year. Yeah, of course. It's an expiring contract, Brian. He should be able to. I hope so, at least. Yeah, Duncan Robinson is worse, says David. Oh, Lordy. Who's first here today? Brian Walters made it in first. I see Jamie Zoria and Steve Chapman. There you go. By the way, Sean, I was reading, like, as I was preparing, and then on Twitter, all these people were shocked that Reigns ended up winning. What, they don't listen to the show? What's wrong with these people? Gotta tell you. Did we get the one? We got the one on Wednesday too, right?
Yeah, you got the one on Wednesday as well.
So what's the deal? What's what was the big news out of WrestleMania for you?
Just the way I guess everything played out on night 2, because night 1 was amazing. Night 2 was the last 2 matches, the Hell in the Cell match was good until Finn Balor got hurt. They actually stapled his head during the match so he could continue. Because he got hit with the ladder and they put staples in his head so he could continue. And then when they got to the back, because he was wearing all this paint and everything else, they didn't realize how deep the cut was until they opened it up, and they were like, oh, okay. He had a big hole running right down his head. And then they ended up shortening the match, but I think those 2 matches kind of saved night 2 at least to make it, and then the ending was the big hoopla over everything, because everybody thought Cody Rhodes was the chosen one, shall we say. And they ended up pulling the old, which, now as everything's been laid out, apparently, you wrote the script 2 or 3 weeks ago, because Cody was never planned to win the belt. Which is the funny thing, because if you watch the shows and you watch everything going on, you would have thought Cody was winning the titles. And as far back as with him winning the Royal Rumble, when he won the Royal Rumble, he was not going to win the titles.
Oh, you see, that's what I'm telling you. You gotta
to win the belt.
Yeah, that's why you gotta listen to the predictions here. You can't get too tied up there. You got to listen here. We give you the real skinny on what's going to happen in wrestling. We have the ultimate predictions on this show.
Yeah, and then they brought back Shane O'Mac. Shane McMahon came out, did 5 seconds, blew out his quad. He tore his quad doing a leapfrog, and Snoop Dogg had to get involved in improvise.
Right? He pinned somebody, right?
Well, the referee had to tell, like, hey, hit him with the people's elbow. So Snoop did it, because it happened. What happened was night 1, Snoop was like, Miz and Snoop were the guest hosts for for WrestleMania for the weekend. The night 1, Snoop brought out Pat McAfee to beat the Miz, and George Kittle also got involved, by the way, too. So they threw some NFL in there. And then on night 2, Shane O'Mac was the surprise to beat him. But 2 seconds into it, he did the leapfrog, blew out his quad, and then they had to finish the segment, because everybody's just sitting there. Shane McMahon's on the ground. The medical staff is over him. The Miz is kind of walking around, and then Snoop gets back in the ring, and the referee tells him, go punch him, and then kind of led through the segment so they could finish it out to make it not look so crazy. But he did great, man. I love Snoop did well. I mean, again, it wasn't the perfect thing, but hey, it was what it was. He saved the day. He saved the day, as Frankie says in the chat.
Awesome. That is awesome.
And the Mysterios did good. And Bad Bunny is back, because they're going to Puerto Rico next month for a pay-per-view. Puerto Rico paid $1.5 million to get the Backlash pay-per-view. So now Bad Bunny's going to be involved in with that and getting that over there, because he's the host of that pay-per-view. So,
wow,
it'll be fun.
Is that the first time they go to Puerto Rico?
First time in 9 years, I think it was. What's funny is the last time they were there, Triple H won the heavyweight championship, and now he's in charge. Well, he's in charge of creative as of I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out how much longer. But right now, he's in charge.
I didn't know the Ricans were that big into wrestling.
What are you talking about? Carlos Colon, they used to run.
Los Portorros love wrestling.
Carlos Colon used to run, like they had the longest running territory ever. Carlos Colon and his sons, yeah, they were running it for a while. I think they still run shows periodically, but not like what they used to do. It used to be they would do like San Juan. They had the areas in Puerto Rico that they would hit, and they would sell out. I mean, 10, 15,000 every show.
Well, so they must have a big ass arena there, right?
I think there's the one big one I think in San Juan, and then there's a couple other like the bigger. I don't know San Juan's the only real big area I know.
Yeah, I would imagine that's the
Puerto
major
Rico,
city.
but there's a couple other cities as you go around that have that as well.
Wow. Okay, because I know they love their basketball, so they've got to have arenas.
Yeah,
in Puerto Rico, because basketball is like enormous there, so they must have some arenas there. But they've got to have a kick-ass arena if they're going to host WWE, bro. I mean, WWE doesn't go somewhere where.
Yeah, no, they're not going to go somewhere like that, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes because they're trying to portray it kind of as a travel destination with a secondhand kind of pay-per-view being Backlash. It's not a SummerSlam, it's not a WrestleMania, it's not a Royal Rumble. So we'll see if they're trying to do like packages.
Yeah, you got to get you need to get a sponsor in Puerto Rico to fly us over to cover that event, bro.
Love that.
What's wrong with you?
I'm working for right now Philly next year. WrestleMania's in Philly, so I want to be there.
Okay, all right. Well, that would be fun if we can do that. Frankie Fresco says, didn't know pick Cody to win. I picked Reno Reigns, right? Because it went with Reno Reigns from Renegade, right? Didn't I do that?
I believe you were with Reigns, yeah. Because I was saying no because I thought Cody was going to.
I think I went with Reno Reigns because of.
I mean, go back to the tape, but
I went with Roman Reigns because of Reno Reigns. I think that was the whole thing. Frankie Fresco again says, thank you again to Sean and Chad. Squared Circle Digest was fun. That's right. You guys did it this weekend.
Yeah, Frankie did a great job. Chad did a great job. The baby was not there, did not make an appearance.
I know. I saw that. That the baby did not make it. I was hoping the baby would do like a cameo.
Yeah, I was upset about it. Yeah.
Like elbow Chad in the head or something, like right in the middle of the chat or something.
All of a sudden, Chad's about to make a pick, and you get a chair flying through the screen and taking him out. And then the baby sits down.
When I was watching, I was hoping for the kid to,
Yeah, it would have been a precursor to Rey Mysterio and Dom, but it would have been Chad and his.
Right. And remember, folks, besides the super chats, which we appreciate, but YouTube does take 30% of it, you can also make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And remember, you can also make a Bitcoin donation on Cash App or Venmo, which we, of course, love the Bitcoin donations. Those are my favorites. Let's see. There you go, Big O. Since you're a Bad Bunny fan, you can look forward to that event. Yep. We can jam some Bad Bunny. Chad says, laughing my ass off. Wife had the kids that night. Luckily. No, you're lucky. You're lucky because the kid told me he was ready to drop an elbow on your ass. Let's see. Ray spanking Dominic with a belt and chancleta reminds me of Puerto Rico, bro. Finns are open to trading Cedric Wilson. Yabonik. Let me ask you something, bro. Are you that freaking naive to believe that stupid ass story? Really, seriously. Like, are you all that stupid to believe that shit? I saw that over the last couple of days. None of that has any merit whatsoever. No media member that reported it has any merit whatsoever to that report. That's not a report. That's not any insight. That's nothing. They've been wanting to trade Cedric Wilson from the second they traded for Tyreek Hill last year. This isn't anything new now. But the good thing is there are enough stupid and naive people that will go off of this shit and start repeating what another idiot writer or somebody on radio or on television, that the Dolphins are open to trading Cedric Wilson. Of course they are, asswipe. They traded for Tyreek Hill. They first traded for Cedric or signed Cedric, and then when Tyreek became available, Cedric became a luxury. That's been going on since last year. But obviously, you're going to take such a big cap hit last year that it's really impossible to make that trade. But since the season ended, of course they're dying to trade Cedric Wilson. They can't use him. So it's not a story. They've been dying to unload Cedric Wilson for a while now. After they traded for Tyreek Hill, they kind of looked at each other and said, oh my God, what do we do with Cedric now? We don't have a role for him anymore. And so now we have one tool after another on social media, on this chat board, repeating something that isn't news. It's just a known fact since last year. Not this week, not last week, not last month, last year. The second they traded for Tyreek Hill, the other guy became expendable. The other guy became a luxury. It is not news. It's only news because the Herald or the Sentinel or the Post or Yardbarker or ESPN or Pro Football Talk or anybody, they need freaking space because there's nothing happening and nothing going on and nothing to talk about. But let us put out on the report that the Dolphins are open to trading Cedric Wilson. And then we've got tools that then follow that like that's actually news. Like that's some weak shit by the media. Like weak ass shit. Okay? But again, this world is loaded with stupid people, loaded with people that are naive, loaded with people that don't do their homework, that have no common sense. So they fall for lazy ass stuff like that. We have nothing to talk about. Let's just create a story. The Dolphins are open to trading Cedric Wilson. Really? Oh, wow. Oh, that's a shocker. Really? That's breaking news? Laziest story out there, bro. Just lazy reporting, lazy writing, lazy talk, lazy television. That's all it is. I mean, on this show, we've been telling you they got to get rid of Cedric Wilson now that they got Tyreek Hill for a while now. This has nothing to do like this was news now. They're dying to get rid of that salary. That was plan A. But plan B showed up all of a sudden because Tyreek Hill became available. And what are you going to do? You got to go make that move. And they went and made that move. And that made him expendable. It's not news. It's not news at all. It was never news. It's amazing. Really is. But again, we do have enough stupid people in this world that, oh, wow, they're out for trading Cedric Wilson. Did you hear the Dolphins want to trade Cedric Wilson? What, you're not smart enough that they've been wanting to trade Cedric Wilson since last year? Now's when you think they're trying to trade him? What are you, stupid? You were born last year? Born last week? You couldn't figure it out yourself that they've been dying to trade him since last year? You have to read a lazy writer that puts it out there like that's news because that lazy writer has to fill space because the lazy editor needs some space? Is that what it is? Weakest story I saw the last couple of days was that bullshit. Wow. That's some lazy ass shit, dude. The next article after Cedric Wilson trade is man lands on the moon. We landed on the moon. Exactly. Cap for Life says, we knew that a year ago and 5 days ago when Cheetah signed. Exactly. Big, are you going to UFC this weekend in Miami? No, sir, I'm not. WrestleMania had over 160,000 attendance between the two nights. Yep. Did you see Jalen Ramsey was tweeting it out, like freaking out like at the crowd. People love wrestling, man. I may not be a wrestling guy and all that, but I'm not stupid. I respect the fact that people love it, okay? And they follow it and they care about it, you know? Whether you like it or not, hey, that's a whole different ballgame. But don't ever say, people don't like wrestling. Oh, people love freaking wrestling, dude. They love wrestling. They travel for it. They buy the tickets. They buy all the paraphernalia for it, the pay-per-views. They pay for the premium service on platforms. The fanaticism is there. I mean, it's impressive. It really is. What do we have here going on besides a weak-ass Cedric Wilson story? God, that was funny. All right, we talked a little bit about UConn and season ending, unfortunately, and the way it ended with the thud. Heat, by the way, defeated Dallas on Saturday, so they got by the dynamic duds, 129 to 122. They're off tonight. No hockey and no NBA tonight because, of course, the national championship game gets the spotlight tonight, 9:20. Although baseball is going on today. Baseball is like, we're going to go on. But, it's baseball. You're so low on the totem pole, so it doesn't really matter. The Magical Marlins are 1-3. Okay? I remember a couple guys, you're overreacting on the spring. Well, they scored 8 runs, gave up 17 through the first 4 games. Okay? And the one game they won, didn't they win it like 1-0, right? Or was it 2-1 or something? Like it was 2-1, right? You're not going to be blowing teams out, dude. Once in a while it might happen because the sun shines on every dog's ass. But how terrible is it that your season's over before it even started? And you got Johnny old-ass Cueto on the mound tonight, and the Twins are in town. And they're pretty good. They're 3-0. Okay? They're 3-0. We'll see how it goes against the Twins. God. It's you turn it on, and it's hard to get, jacked about the Marlins season. And poor Jazz, wow, that's going to be an adjustment for him back there in center field. He missed one ugly yesterday, bro. Poor guy. I like Jazz, but that's a transition move there, moving to center. I mean, listen, any of us that played baseball, it's a gift when you hear the crack of the bat, and by the sound of that bat, you already got to know right away how it pops off that bat, where you got to go in the outfield. If you're going in or you're going dropping back, you got to have an immediate feel for it. And it's a gift. And it's something that just does not develop naturally. You've got to work at that, and that's going to be a mission. It's not like he lacks the talent. Jazz has all the talent in the world. He was right there on the dive. He just missed it. But this is going to be part of his whole thing. And that, that dive, it reminds me a lot of Chucky Carr. Chucky was a guy that made some catches that were absolutely amazing in the early years of the Marlins, expansion years. But it wasn't because he was amazing. It was because most of the time, Chucky did not read the ball off the bat the right way. And so he reacted late. And so that's why the catch would sometimes become a spectacular catch. It's because fundamentally he wasn't very good. And that's why, but he had so much God-given ability that he was able to close in on the ball at times and make these diving catches and everybody's wowed and all that. But that's really because, he read it wrong in the first place, So there's going to be some of that with Jazz early on. Hopefully, as time goes on, he'll play a lot smoother out there in center field. And what the really important thing for Jazz is that he's able to make the adjustment in center field, that he doesn't have a lot of struggles, and it doesn't affect his offense, that he's able to compartmentalize the two. That's always something so important for players, especially in baseball, because if they are terrific defensive players and then they struggle offensively, then sometimes it hurts their defense and vice versa. And you hope that, Jazz's offense isn't affected by maybe some of the frustrations in his adjustment to playing center field. But it's hard, man, to watch the Marlins. There's just not a lot to watch, and there's very little to look forward to. It's a crazy stuff. Anyway, Cueto and Mail, I want to say, is Tyler Mail, is the way it's pronounced. Twins are 3-0. We'll see what happens. by the way, congratulations to them. They swept FSU in baseball over the weekend, but FSU is struggling big time. They're 12-15, and they're like 3-9 in the ACC. So FSU, not a good year for them. Miami improved to 19-9 after the sweep, and 8-4 now in the ACC. So that series really helped them out. All right. Mel says, Big O, why did they trade for a second baseman when they already have one? Maybe they trade for another position. Dub move, should have kept Jazz at second. Mel, I think they were looking for a bat, and the kid can get on base. And so they said, okay, so then we'll move Jazz. He's talented enough, and then he'll adjust to the new position, and we'll improve our offense, which is what they're going to do with those two guys. But you still have to have the people drive them in. So Soler and Avisail Garcia and some of these other guys have to also produce when these guys actually get on base. You know what I'm saying? And I think they don't have the money, Mel. So they can't go buy the bat, so they had to go trade. And so maybe they couldn't find another position that was available, or maybe they were asking for too much in prospects. And in the Minnesota deal, they weren't, they were willing to give away the prospects that they did in order to trade for him. And that's why they were willing to make the adjustment. When you're poor, Mel, when you don't have the money to dictate what you want to do, these are the things that happen. You're then stuck doing some of the things you may not want to do, but you have no choice because you have very few avenues to exercise, because you just can't open up. Bruce Sherman can't open up the checkbook. He made them once by making the mistakes with Soler and Garcia. Real teams out there can overcome that and go sign other guys. The Marlins have to wait till those deals expire before they're able to sign other guys. So it's really a product of not having money, a product of being a poor team. So it limits your options. This is why they are what they are. I didn't know Chuck Carr passed away last year. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. Frankie, you can try Canes, where I'm sure they have Marlins throwbacks jerseys. I don't know if they have a throwback jersey. They do have Marlins stuff. I'm not sure if they have a throwback jersey. I can ask. You're looking for a throwback jersey. Let me ask Brett. I will ask Brett right now. I will say this: Marlins throwback jerseys are, that's awesome. Those are the bomb. Marlins throwback jerseys. You're talking about with the Rio Marlin and the Florida Marlins and all that. Yeah, that is badass. I have a few, so I'm with you. I love the Marlins throwbacks. Although I like the Jeter logo. I thought he did a good job. It's, modernizing it and all that stuff. I don't have a problem with the Jeter logo. I hated the Loria logo. That logo sucked. That was a terrible logo. But I'll give Jeter's people props. They did a nice job with that one. Shocker. Marlins are 1-3. I feel bad for those people in 560 that have to hype this team up. It's not 560, it's 940. It's 940. Yeah, it's I actually tweeted that out the other day that it's got to be tough. It's got to be tough to do that broadcast when the inevitable is losing and you don't have enough, and you've got to kind of make, you got to kind of do whatever you can to kind of get by. It's demoralizing. Oh, what tight end in the draft do you like for the Dolphins to fit this offense? There's a couple of tight ends, but Tucker Kraft would be the guy that I like a lot in that area of the second, third rounds. Okay? I don't think the Georgia kid's going to make it to the pick. But, but I'll go with Tucker Kraft. That's my guy. Ooh, Fanatics, I think they only had the Chad Dawson one, but it wasn't the 93 looking one. Dolphin fans, the 93 jersey. I have a couple of those 93 jerseys. Actually, I have the white one and I have the gray one. And the white one with the aqua shirt inside, the aqua t-shirt. Love it. Kraft is very athletic. Yes, he is. Tucker Kraft and Sam Laporta are my favorite tight ends. Laporta is another one that will be there. Second, third rounds for sure. Where Miami picks, that's where Sam Laporta is going to go. He's a pretty good pick too. That one's not bad. If they take Sam Laporta, I'm not going to really complain about Sam Laporta. That's fine. He looks like he has some skills. I got no problem with that one. Willie says, I know that in 91 they announced they were a new expansion club. Exactly. When they were the Erie Sailors. How about that, Willie? The Erie Sailors, baby. That was our minor league team that we could look at. That was because before we got the team, we were awarded a minor league team, so we can start to build the minor league system. And it was the Erie Sailors was our team. I remember. What else do we have? Dolphin show. Dolphin Mitch. Did everyone hear the Finns are open to trading Cedric Wilson Jr.? Jester screwed Jorge Mas, but George will have the last laugh when he builds the soccer stadium. Yes, that's the thing. The MLB and Jeffrey Loria screwed the Moss brothers. We all know the Moss brothers wanted the Marlins badly, okay? And the Moss brothers would have made baseball matter in this town. I mean, whatever the Moss brothers are going to do sports-wise, they're going to make it matter, okay? And as I've told you many times over, and I'll repeat it over and over again, don't get caught up on all the mistakes they made early on with the soccer team. That is normal for anybody that starts a new business. Nobody's ever perfect. You're going to make mistakes. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You're going to live and learn. But the Moss brothers are going to have the last laugh because they're going to build a kick-ass stadium over in Freedom Park. And then they're going to house one hell of a soccer team. And eventually they will be champions in the MLS. And I think there'll be multiple champions in the MLS. They're going to have one of the better teams in the league, and they're going to make soccer matter in this town. And in the summer, We're all going to be looking forward to the Inter Miami seasons and not the Miami Marlins seasons, because that ownership group is going to do everything in their power to win. Whereas, unfortunately, Bruce Sherman does not have the power to do whatever he needs in order to win. He doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the influence he needs in order to create an atmosphere where baseball matters. And baseball can easily matter in this town, but you're going to have to sacrifice your money and your time early on. You're going to have to do the same thing Viola and Sifu have been doing. And they haven't gotten over the hump yet. And why? Because they haven't figured out how to consistently win. Look where they're at now. They had a great year last year, and now they're on the outside looking in. And we don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs or not. You had the best record in the league last year. You go from that to not making the playoffs. That's the kind of shit that does not allow you to build anything here in this town. So it's not easy. You can do it, but it really takes a hell of an effort in order to win people over in this town. All right, let's take a quick break. Let's get ready for hour number 2 of the Big O Radio Show, mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley.
You know, I tell you guys all the time about Cutter's Edge Pro, man, and what they did with our backyard and made it a pure oasis. That's our Sylvester tree right there. A beautiful day, providing a ton of sunshine. We've got one exactly like this out in the front yard, and it is absolutely gorgeous. There's Bono hanging around on the artificial turf. What's up, Bono? What's the word, baby? There you go, wagging that little tail. Maiden, there she is. Ziggy. How you doing, Ziggy? There you go. So we got the doggies hanging out. So just want to give you a little, we got some of the trees starting off from this way with the artificial turf. You see, there's Ziggy again, of course. Got it all the way. And look, we got some flowers coming out. That tree now will start to also spring, and it's absolutely beautiful too. So got all that. They can do all kinds of things for you in your backyard to kind of make it an oasis, which is what we've done. And obviously the dogs can play. What's up, Bono? I got him there hanging out. Maiden, there she is. There she is, the one and only. She's mean as a skunk, by the way. Just want you to know. She's awesome with us, but I mean, if you're a stranger, you don't want to meet mated. So as you can see, and then the artificial turf, remember, there's no watering. There's no cutting the grass. It looks fabulous like this the entire time. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. Back here in this corner is where we put the barbecue. I wheel it out, cook, then I wheel it back in. See, looks beautiful, doesn't it? Flowers are coming out. It's awesome. And then when I want to play a little golf, there's my putting green down the side, which is a beautiful thing. There's one of the holes all the way to the other side where Bono is at. All lights up. It's really beautiful when it lights up. See, we got the rough. Got several. Got one on that side. Got one over there in the corner where Bono's leaving. Got rough all over the place, man. Just in case, you get the ball trapped in there. That's it. That's another swing. Right, Maiden? So, check it out, cuttersedgepro.com. Make your home an oasis. Make your business, your HOA complex, condominium, you name it, they got you, bro. They do it all. All right? Then cut your trees down, and the artificial turf, I swear by it. Really easy to maintain, and it looks just absolutely freaking beautiful. Cutter's Edge Pro. Right, Ziggy?
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
For over 16 years, EJD Construction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJD Construction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, hour number 2 of the program. True Fin Fan, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, rather stick glass in my ear than Bad Bunny. Frankie Fresco says, I acknowledge Big O. Well, thank you, Frankie. I love you, brother. Thank you out there. Appreciate all of you out there as always. How we doing on the... Oh, I left my phone over there. Oh, well. By the way, speaking of throwbacks, there you go. Here's a little throwback action for you. I guess I got to put it away. There you go. Little throwback action for you. Still got to, I don't wear them anymore, but they're from back in the day. Then obviously the classic with the shirt. Although I need a new Aqua shirt because this shirt's already kind of worn out, but it has the patch. So, so I got to get another one of these shirts with the Florida Marlins patch. And then, of course, the gray. So got that. There you go. Those are hard to find. Okay. And they don't have those over at, Brett reached out to me from Caneswear. They don't have the rights to those. So those are, you may have to go they may have those throwback sites. They have those sites that have the throwbacks. And you could probably get Florida Marlins gear there. It is so good, the Florida Marlins gear. That is just awesome. What size is it? I will buy it from you, Big O. Yeah, they're extra large. Of course. I'm a fat ass. Of course they're extra large. Yeah, but I'm not selling them, bro. I don't want to sell that stuff, man. I'm not selling that. Those are originals, man. They right from when they first came out. I bought those. So no, I appreciate it, my brother, but I'm not selling that stuff. It's personal to me, And plus, who knows? I can whip those out. Excuse me while I whip this out. If baseball does want to actually care about us one day and really try to win, and I can whip out some Florida Marlins stuff and look stylish. Josh says, I got the gray Marlins jersey signed by Levon. Bye, huh? I love you, Miami. And Frankie wants to buy it. That is awesome. I only own the white version. The old stuff was the best. It is. It's just great logos, man. The logo just looks so like Wayne and Company created this super classy Marlins logo, man. It's like, really, really like right up there. Frankie says, I respect that. Yeah, I mean, Frankie, I don't part ways with my stuff. When I collect something, it's not really to sell it. You know what I mean? If I have my rookie card or my, to a rookie card or whatever, I'm not really waiting for it to go up to a certain value and then sell it. I'm really keeping it. It's just one of those things that I love to keep for myself, and it's a nice talking point too, with friends and family members and business partners and stuff like that. Goals were goals, men were men. That's it. I'm with you there. GP Trap Hewitt says, good morning, Big O. Cleavon Little. LOL. All right. Inter Miami ended up losing over the weekend against Cincinnati. Mosquera off the set piece. I thought Pizarro picked up a silly yellow card. The call was right, by the way. It was outside of the box, so we weren't supposed to get a penalty kick out of it. The Negri kid. This is, or Negri, how is it as pronounced? Negri. It's the second game. He rifles a shot that goes off the bar. And that kid's due, man. That kid's got a hell of a foot, dude. That left-footed shot was awesome. And he did it a couple of weeks ago again. He's going to score before it's all said and done a couple times because he's got it, man. He's just off by a couple of inches there, man. But unfortunately, I thought maybe Inter started off looking good. They won their first two. Now they've lost 4 straight. They've got the Gregory injury, obviously, but Campana's injury too. And Campana, I think I'm at the point now with Campana that if he can stay on the pitch, I'll be shocked. He's always injured. Like the one thing I can tell you is that I don't count on what's it called? On Campana to stay healthy. I don't at all. I had to take off. I had a paper towel on my ear. I end up cutting my ear more than I cut my face when I shave. It's the weirdest thing. Like I'll get the blade and, trim a little bit on the ears here, there, whatever. I'll shave the hell out of my face all over the place. Never cut myself. I just hit a couple times with my ear and bam, ear gets sliced up, bro. It's the weirdest thing. And I'm, and never get cut. And then the ear just, I got to touch up a little bit here, there. Bam. Royally sucks. Anyway, so Campana can't stay healthy. Saturday, they've got Dallas at Drive Pink. Haven't been to a game yet. Got to go out to a game with the wife. Go enjoy a little Inter Miami action, although there isn't a lot to enjoy lately. Jesus. And they didn't play bad, actually, on Saturday. They played well. They just couldn't capitalize. That was their problem. They just couldn't get it done. Big O, who will have a worse record, the Marlins or Inter Miami? Oh, the Marlins for sure. Inter Miami will get better. They'll get healthier and they'll get better. And they'll get messy. Remember, things are going to get messy here in the summer. Okay? It's going to get a little messy out here. All right? Tomorrow in New York, it'll get, a different kind of messy. But here, it's going to get messy. Oh, it's going to get really messy. It's going to get so messy. And when it gets all messy, it is going to be really good. So Inter Miami will be fine. I'm not worried. I'm not panicking yet with Inter Miami. But they do have to start winning a couple of games, because when it gets messy, you don't want to make it such a deep hole that Lionel has to carry the entire world out of that hole. That's just not fair to him. You know what I'm saying? So we can't allow things to get too messy before Messi gets here. Because if it's too messy, then Lionel will not be able to get you out of that mess. So Inter, let's go. You got to start winning some games here. We need to make it less messy for Lionel. Messi is not coming. He's going to Barca for 2 more years. No Barca, bro. No, he's done. They were booing him at PSG and everything. Van Gogh had that problem when he shaved too, Big O. Yeah, he did. Yep. He shaved a little harder than I do, but he did. You are correct. Big O, helpful hint. Don't trim ear hair. Just part it down the middle. Great performance by Fort in the Florida Derby. Big Bob, I did not see the Florida Derby, so I don't know. But Frank Fort always has a great performance. I don't know about Fort the horse, but I know about Frank Fort. He's an ass kicker. The original 1980s Dolphins jersey were sewed. They weren't sewed. They were acrylic pressed. Going to be another long Marlins season. Yeah, the long season's over. Franco Negri, Argentina. I'm telling you, he's going to score, bro. He has rifled a couple of beautiful shots, and he's just been off by a little bit, dude. Just by a little bit. He just needs to tweak it just a little bit more. Just a little dip on that shot. And he's going to be scoring for Inter Miami. Frankie says Messi will probably come when he turns 37. He's coming this summer, man. He doesn't have a contract yet, right? I'm just saying. There's no contract in place. I'll believe that he's not coming once he signs with somebody else. But he has not signed, and I find it really weird by now that he has not signed the contract. Don't you all find it really weird that he doesn't have a contract yet? And that's where I think he's coming, man. I really think he's coming. He's got nothing else to prove in Europe anymore. And if they're going to give him a franchise, which is probably what they'll do, he'll get his $500 million from that. Because he'll be able to sell that franchise if he wants to, but he'll probably start it and have his own franchise and run it. Anthony Davis looking scary in the West. Nothing about Anthony Davis is scary because he's a sack of injuries. So he can't stay healthy. Frankie says, rumors are that he is already talking to Barcelona already. Makes sense for him to make that his spot, like he's going away tour, then go to the MLS. You're right. But until he signs the deal with Barcelona, I'm saying he's coming here. I don't see a contract yet. So until I see a contract, I'm believing he's coming here. That's what I'm going with. And it doesn't make any sense that he doesn't have that contract already. That's the part I don't understand. I really don't understand that one. Canes making the Final Four is great for the U in all sports, I believe. Yeah, it helps, but I don't think it's not going to lift baseball to any kind of levels or anything like that. Please. By the way, the Dade County Youth Fair is going on right now through March 9th, through April 9th, I'm sorry. And they've got all kinds of great stuff. Obviously, the Ice Fear show is there. They've got the circus with new acts going on. The X-Pogo stunt show is actually really cool, and it's exactly what it sounds like. These guys are on pogo sticks, and they're jumping like 87 feet in the air and doing flips and all kinds of crazy stuff. You got to check it out. It's actually wacky. They've got the dueling pianos. They've got the Cowboy Circus with Danny Grant. They've got live music. Of course, the fair food is second to none. Sean Stanley's pickled lemonade is there. The Mexican street corn pizza. The Cubano churro. The Miami Cuban funnel cake sandwich. Yeah, that sounds interesting. The chorizo jalapeno pizza, which I believe Alan Poupart loves the chorizo jalapeno pizza. The pumpkin patch with the strawberry twist. They've got the salted caramel fudge. Let me tell you something. Go try the banana pudding. They've got a little truck there that serves the banana pudding. It's homemade banana pudding. It is the best banana pudding I have ever had in my entire life. The greatest banana pudding I have ever had. Apparently, it's mom's recipe or something like that. But if you do go to the Dade County Youth Fair, trust me on this, okay? Yeah, you might want a turkey leg. You might want some pizza. You might want an elephant ear, like I love the elephant ear. But if you want to try something absolutely like out of this world, the banana pudding. Holy shit, that thing is awesome. That was delicious. I tried it the other day. Can't wait to see what we're going to try on Wednesday when we're there, actually. Looking forward to it. And we'll give away a couple of more family 4-packs also for you guys here. All right, let's get ready. Let's take the break. Alan Poupart joins us next with our EJD Construction.com Miami Dolphins and NFL report.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJD Construction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
All right, there he is, locked and loaded. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good in Montreal?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Except, sorry, man, can't do the jalapeno with the churro. No,
you're a wimp like me. You can't handle the hot stuff.
Can't handle. Yes, my stomach is very, very wimpy.
I am a total wuss. My wife looks at me and then she'll bite into a jalapeno and just laugh at me.
Yeah,
and I'm like, you idiot.
Yeah.
You can't do this to me. And she's embarrassing me. And she's like laughing. And if I have a bite of the same jalapeno, I need 8 gallons of water.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I am terrible with that. So you've got the wussness in you also for the hot stuff. Okay.
I do, and like wasabi for sushi. No wasabi. I love sushi, but you'll never catch me.
I love sushi too, but no wasabi either. Yeah, that thing will open up. Although I will do the shrimp cocktail at St. Elmo's, and there's no doubt in my mind that shit has wasabi in it.
It very well might. I actually tried it one time with the cocktail sauce, and it completely ruined it for me. And it's like, no, sorry, can't do it.
I take it with that one because it tastes so good. That cocktail sauce tastes so good, but it does open the crap out of your sinuses, bro. I mean, Jesus Christ.
No, and at one morning at the combine this year, they actually brought out big trays of St. Elmo's shrimp in the morning in the big interview room, and much to my chagrin, I was almost crying. All of them were like smothered in the cocktail sauce, and I had to pass on the very kind offer.
By the way, what's this stuff that why is trading Cedric Wilson now a story? That's been a story from they've been dying to unload that guy from the second they got Tyreek Hill. How are people making this a story now? Oh, the Dolphins are open to trading Cedric Wilson. Dude, they've been open to trading Cedric Wilson from the second they got Tyreek. They just couldn't because of the cap issues. But that's not a story, bro.
But here's what happens is one of the local reporters does a story looking at position by position on offense, and he was looking at the wide receivers, and it's basically a state of the wide receiver position. And in that course, he mentions that the Dolphins would be interested in trading Cedric Wilson. Aggregators all over the place are reading that story and maybe picking up on this for the first time, even though all of us who cover the Dolphins have been screaming from the mountaintops or the rooftops, whatever, the Dolphins would love to dump that contract. And all of a sudden the aggregators see this, oh, look at that story. And then it gets picked up and gets picked up and it gets picked up. And then fan websites pick it up. And all of a sudden it's this thing. Of course they'd love to trade him. He's got $5 million guaranteed after getting passed on the depth chart last year, catching 12 passes. But guess what? Nobody's giving him anything. But
right.
I mean, that's journalism in 2023. What are you going to do?
Yeah. You're hoping somebody gives you a late pick only because they like the player and they say, okay, he can make us better. And we're not, and it's the same Jalen Ramsey shit, except it won't even be a third. It'll be a lot less than that. It'll be like a sixth or something like that you're going to get because you're doing it to unload the salary. They're doing it because they know you need to unload the salary, but they're going to get themselves a good receiver and they need one. So you've just got to hope for the perfect spot that somebody needs a veteran receiver that needs to make a quick transition instead of hoping that you know what, we'll draft a rookie instead, but then we got to gamble that the rookie makes the quick transition. You've got to just pray for that perfect scenario, and I don't know if it exists. I know somebody wrote about Dallas missing him and all that crap, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I know
they miss him, but not at that money. You know what? I would go as far as to say it could be a case where the Dolphins have to do a swap of late round picks where they're giving the other team the better pick. So let's for example, like a 5 and Wilson for a 6 or a 7. You know,
right?
Just get rid of the contract.
Right. Yeah. That could be it. And let me tell you something. If they have any thoughts of maybe a free agent that's available that they've got to create space for, that may be the move that they have to make in order to open up the cap space. They may desperately have to get rid of a pick in order to accommodate, that cap space. So yeah, it's just, I just find it funny how people make it a story when it was never a story. It's been a necessity and a luxury for a year now. That's
what you get with aggregators who confuse like a statement of fact in a big picture story and decide that it's news, that it's something new. I mean, what are you going to do? No, but that's like I said.
All right. Well, the cat is out of the bag. At least people can calm down now. I mean, you figured it was going on anyway, but the Christian Wilkins talks are ongoing. So it's good to know that, because a lot of people were worried. It's funny how this whole story has turned out, because the first couple of years, I could just hear people complaining that Christian Wilkins wasn't worthy of the draft pick, right? Then the last couple of years, he's proven that he's more than worthy of the draft pick, that he's turned into one hell of a player. And so now people are dying for him to get signed and stay here. So it's gone from me hearing people say, well, he's not worthy of the pick. And it's like, yo, relax, dude. He's just started his career. Let him, kind of establish himself. So, but it's good to hear that obviously what should be an anchor for this team eventually will be here for a long time to come.
Yeah, and it wasn't, if you recall what Chris Greer said at the Combine in March, the thing with Chris is he doesn't want to get involved in saying anything with I'm having these discussions with an agent, which is what he made clear. He also said at the time, we want him around for a long time. So at that point, I think all of us took it like, okay, it's going to get done. It's a matter of when it's going to get done. And obviously it's not going to get done without the Dolphins talking to Wilkins' agent. even if Chris is not commenting on that, yes, it's going to happen. And you mentioned like the need to create cap space if the Dolphins want to sign another free agent, which, by the way, may or may not happen until the draft. But that's another way to create space, because right now he's on the books for, what was it, 10.3 or something like that on the 5th year option.
10.75.
Okay. Well, you can reduce that with a long-term extension where, more of the money is in future years. So there's a double benefit. Unlike, for example, Zach Sealer is another really, really good player, but his cap number right now is really low. So you're doing it strictly to reward the player and make sure he stays around, as opposed to Wilkins, where an extension serves two purposes.
Yep. That's, at least for people out there, they can kind of relax a little bit. Eventually he'll get signed. I think one thing that's going to change about this team and under this leadership group here is, for many years we saw guys actually, leave and go get their next contract somewhere else. And sometimes you would see them pay other people's free agents to come here, and it was just kind of a screwed up situation. I think Chris Greer and company are going to want to keep the guys that they develop. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're going to start seeing, like we had a little run a few years back where guys would be leaving the Miami Dolphins after you ended up, developing them.
Yeah, but the circumstances also come into play there. Because you can go back, like Tunsil, for example, that was the case of Houston kept coming back with better offer after better offer, where you didn't have a choice. Minka had the clash with Flo. And then before that, for example, they re-signed, they did the 5th year option with Devontae Parker and then kept readjusting, eventually wound up trading him at some point where maybe they decided the guy had plateaued in terms of what he could bring. But no, that's the way that's what's good. It's good business, is you get good players that you develop, hang them around. And Wilkins he's a foundational piece, and he's one of your, on a team that's got a lot of its best players coming from the outside. Well, he's a homegrown foundational piece, just like Xavier Howard. Though I think, in X's situation, his shelf life might be getting, towards the back end.
Sure. Yeah. I'm expecting a very motivated X this year, because he knows he's going to get cut next year if he doesn't perform at a high level. And with Jalen Ramsey, I think there's a lot of carrots dangling for him next year that should motivate him to want to come back and have a great season, not just because he's a pro and not just for the Dolphins, but for his future.
Yeah, and this is where, though, I would point out that, and I agree with you that he's got whatever motivation that he has as a base, there's even more this year. But I think last year, the biggest issue to me wasn't that he wasn't putting out. To me, it looked like he was a guy who wasn't right physically the whole year. And and he kept playing. And he's a cornerback who needs his legs, and he's got groin issues all over the place. That's going to affect his play.
Yeah, there's no doubt that guy was injured last year. You could tell. That was as obvious as it gets that he wasn't himself last year. And so I'm expecting a different guy when it's all said and done. What was I going to ask you now? I was just going to ask you something. I freaking forgot. What was I going to ask you? Oh, yes. What do we on the injury front? What do we know about Brandon Jones? Do we know anything about his injury?
He's rehabbing fine. He posted some shots of himself on social media, doing some work. You want to see he got injured in October. You're looking, 3 months is January. Now it's 6-month time period. So my best guess is the offseason program for the Dolphins starts in 2 weeks from now. Wouldn't surprise me if you didn't see him at all, but I don't think would be a major concern from all indications. The recovery is going well. I think, again, I don't necessarily think we're going to see him in the offseason program. I don't think it's a major deal. I certainly would expect him to be ready and good to go for the start of training camp.
Do we know anything about Teron Armstead? Because that poor man had 86 injuries.
Probably same deal. I don't believe he had surgery after the off season. It was all stuff that just needed to heal on its own. Again, he's a pro. Is it really going to matter a whole lot if he doesn't participate in the off season program? My guess he's going to be around and just, I don't want to say chilling, but kind of chilling.
Okay. All right. What do you got going on SI so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, busy day. Just put it up. I got a lot of questions for the mailbag last weekend, so I wound up separating it in 3 parts to not make it every one of them War and Peace. So part 3 went in today. I'm going to have a story later today about the best remaining free agent options at each position on offense and on defense. We're going to continue our series of scouting reports on potential draft prospects, focusing on guys who have been mocked to the Dolphins in the 2nd or 3rd round, and that's a lot of tight ends, a lot of offensive linemen, and then keeping on top of any and all developments that might happen. It's been pretty quiet. I mean, they didn't do any roster moves last week. Nothing since the Justin Bethel re-signing and John Jenkins signing with the Las Vegas Raiders. It's possible that won't change, but if it does change and something happens, we'll be on top of it.
There you go. And follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Alan, as always, my brother, thank you. We will catch up later on in the week, my friend. Appreciate you.
Sounds good. Enjoy the jalapenos.
Yes, sir. There you go. Alan Poupart, baby. And when it comes to EJD Construction, man, you got to call my guy, Eric. They know how to take care of you. And Dade and Broward counties, by the way, not Palm Beach. All right, just in case, because I know we've had listeners call from Palm Beach County. But if you live in Dade or Broward County, call them 305-433-4843. They do something really cool because maybe you're still at home while they're working on your home, or maybe you're away. But either way, they've got an app that you have your own section to it that you go into it every day, and they take pictures, and you keep updated on everything going on every single day on every single site that they're working on. 305-433-4843, fully insured liability and workers' comp, custom home construction, major home remodeling, folks. If you're looking to do anything along those lines, you call them in Dade or Broward County and tell them that Big O sent you. Eric will take care of you. This is the owner's personal cell number, 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. Thank you all as always. Appreciate Alan. Where are we at right now? Where is Bitcoin still holding at 28,000 and holding strong, baby, at 28,000? Man, tell you. By the way, how many of you got in on it with me on Injective Protocol? Now, I tweeted it out this weekend. And I gave you Injective Protocol back in November, I believe, and it was like at $1.71. It had dropped to like $1.43. It's up 7% today. It's up to $5.51. So, those of you that went on with me on Alethea, you're doing well. If you went on Injective Protocol and you got it under $2, it is at $5.50 right now. That's freaking amazing. $5.51. That is strong, dog. Strong. Cardano, by the way, is over the 40-cent mark again. It's moved well in the last week. It really has. Moving really, really well. But Bitcoin it has stuck at 28 now for like a week and a half or two. It's been stuck there, which is really good that it's found the floor there. That means it is about to take off. and go over 30 very, very soon. I thought it would be by this week. I thought it. Kyle Cockrell says, I got in with you and Ali. Whoa, Kyle, you got also injective protocol? Nice job by you, dude. You're doing well, man. You're doing really well with injective. And Alethea, too. I actually bought the dip in Alethea. Yeah, I have it under a penny, and I sold a bunch and made my money and got but it teetered off between the 4 and 5 cent range. So I've been buying it in that 4 and that 3 something cent range, loading up a little bit more for the next run that it makes. And it'll go, I know it's going to go over 9 cents. So I'll be able to double and triple that investment besides the initial investment that I also have in Alethea. But yeah, I've been taking advantage a little bit of that. Let's see. Frankie says the little girl that was dancing with Bianca lost her mother the same day she was performing in WrestleMania, and the little girl still wanted to dance with Bianca. Wow. I don't know what is going on there, but that sounds pretty moving there. Heard Rogers is going back in the Batcave for more clarity. I have no idea. Are you joking around, King Short? I have no idea what that crazy dude is doing. Who gets traded first, Aaron Rodgers or Cedric Wilson? Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be tough to trade Cedric, man. It really is, because everybody knows that Miami has to get rid of him, except for the people that actually thought it was a story this weekend. Any of the media members or whatever tried to make this a story. Oh, the Dolphins are open to unload, whatever. But I'm going to say Rodgers. The Cedric one will be tough. It will be really tough because they've got the Dolphins by the balls, because everybody knows what the Dolphins have to do, which absolutely sucks. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Well, when sports and business collide, we like doing something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. Well, it is finally news, and it looks like the UFC now has a buyer. We talked a little bit about it now, as WWE is now going to end up merging, and the news broke this morning, basically, that WWE finally has been sold. So it looks like Mr. McMahon can step aside now, who founded the company 70 years after his father, by the way, entered professional wrestling. The McMahon family appears ready to give up control of their empire, closing in on a multi-billion-dollar deal to sell WWE to Endeavor. Assuming the deal is completed, the expectation is that WWE would be merged with Endeavor's UFC to create a new standalone public company, with the Ari Emanuel-led firm holding a majority stake. CNBC first reported this. The companies are in advanced talks, and a deal may be announced. WWE is holding a flagship wrestling event in Los Angeles over the weekend. The potential sale comes after McMahon's January return to the sports entertainment company as executive chairman. Endeavor is the owner of mixed martial arts, UFC, talent mega agency, WWE, and other businesses like IMG and Professional Bull Riders, a natural fit for WWE. Since going public in 2021, Endeavor has sought to build out its own sporting events business, mostly through UFC and to a lesser extent PBR. WWE superstars have regularly moved over to film and TV, with some like Dwayne Johnson, stage name The Rock, and John Cena finding mainstream appeal. A combined UFC and WME would also be able to work together in some rights negotiations. Endeavor CEO Emmanuel has not been shy about his interest in WWE since the minute Vince McMahon retired from the company. Lightshed analyst Brandon Ross, Richard Greenfield, and Mark Kelly wrote in the January 12th report, he believes that he can unlock the value of WWE in the same way he did for UFC, which he acquired ahead of their last renewal cycle by negotiating rights deals and layering on significant sponsorship dollars. To the end, the deal under discussion is stock-focused rather than cash-focused, with WWE shareholders rolling their equity into the new venture. So, pretty interesting. Going to make a lot of money, folks. Endeavor picking up the UFC. You like this, Sean? This might be the best case scenario for your sport, huh?
To be honest, I want to see how this plays out, because there's already talk that the premium live events are going to be taken off of Peacock. So with that means the $9.99 goes away and you're paying $29.99 a pay-per-view, and they're going to lose people that way.
Okay, or could they now make their own platform now that they have so
No, because UFC's still under contract with ESPN. I think they signed like a 7 to 8 year deal.
Exclusive?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And they've shown, Endeavor's shown that they are more into, that again, very early talks about it, but that's one of the worries, because they can make more, through that and then in the Peacock thing. So there's going to be some things business-wise that turns. Vince McMahon was on CNBC this morning. They sent out a memo about an hour ago saying that Triple H is still in charge of creative. Take that with what you want. But Vince McMahon also said that he is higher than creative control. So ultimately, he'll have the final veto power if he doesn't want something to happen, which if you watch Night 2, you saw that happen a lot. So maybe, it did. We'll see what Endeavor does. But Vince McMahon now just made $9.4 billion for the family, and however they break it down. And he's still getting paid because he is the CEO now of this new I believe they're calling the company Newco. The Endeavor with WWE, it's called Newco now. And he's going to be the CEO. Ari, forgot his last name, who was in charge of the UFC, is just above him. Then it's Vince McMahon. And then they're going to do a board with 6 members from the Endeavor and 5 members of WWE. So we'll see who gets elected to the board as well, because then again, there's more money. But the good news is 49% shareholders, and stocks started, I think, at $106 a piece, which I believe is a big up for where some of them were at.
All right, good stuff. And by the way, folks, it is tax season, business or personal, right? There's a QR code. Reach out to the great people at KSDT. We got offices in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. Going to open up an office in North Carolina. I mean, folks, nowadays you could be anywhere they could do your taxes. It doesn't really matter where you live, because all you got to do is phone them and send them the stuff by email, and they could probably do it without you even having to sit there. You can probably do it all by video. So it really doesn't matter where you're at. You can be anywhere in the country. I think you can reach out to them. Use the QR code right there, folks. Reach out to them. Tell them that Big O sent you. Tax season is here. Do it early, man. Do it like we do. Get it out of the way. Don't mess with the government, bro. Those people don't mess around, man. Anyway, so make sure you pay. There you go. That is our KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
All right. What do we got going on in the world of sports? It's a slow time, man. It is a slow time. I mean, there's just not a ton going on. And it's the worst part? That the Heat and the Panthers are not going to carry us for a couple of months. So it's really all about the draft. It's about mini camps. It's about, anything that is doing in football. I don't think there's going to be a lot of focus on basketball or hockey the rest of the way because those teams don't look like they're going to make any kind of runs, and they don't look like they're impactful teams at all in their respective sports right now. It's really, really tough right now. There isn't a lot of things going on. Spooky Meyer says Captain Insano shows no mercy. Okay, I'll take your word for it. King Short says, I think Big O spoke about JW for last week. JW. John Wick? Yes. Oh, 4. Yes. Okay, not 4 last week. John Wick 4. Yes, I enjoyed it. Very, very good movie. Very entertaining. It was better than 3. I thought 3 was a little bit of a downer. Okay? Still enjoyed it, but not like 1 and 2. 4, I enjoyed much more than 3. That's just me. I don't know if any of you would say the same thing. Big O, OK Coin showing euros instead of USD and won't let me buy anything. Are you having that issue? No, because I buy from crypto.com also. And, what you always should do, is you should have a Binance account, a crypto.com account, a OK Coin. OK Coin lost their bank. They were using Silvergate. So now they've got to cut a deal with a new U.S. bank. And they haven't done that. That's why it's only in euros. Okay, so buy your stuff at crypto.com. I also sometimes will get my stuff right on Exodus, Binance, and you can then move it over to your, cold storage wallet. That kind of stuff. I got a little more Star Atlas last night. Actually, over on damn it, what's the name of that on what's that? Damn it, now I'm brain farting. On Exodus last night. So you should have multiple accounts, Coinbase, another one. And remember, don't buy anything that doesn't have a bridge so you can move it. As long as it has a bridge so you can move it to your cold storage wallet. And please don't tell me you're keeping stuff on OKCoin or crypto.com or Binance or move everything to a cold storage wallet. So they haven't gotten their deal with a new American bank yet, and that's why they're having trouble. It's funny because a lot of the talk out there in crypto, they're saying, well, they're forcing people to have trouble using American banks. Yeah, it's not true because Citibank, I have Citibank and I buy crypto all the time with Citibank. I have Bank of America and I buy it all the time. And I have Chase. It's what they're doing is they're eliminating or trying to make it harder for the smaller banks, but they want you to use their power banks. We have like 5, 6 of them in this country, and I talked about 3 of them right there and then. And that's why those guys are still dealing in crypto. Because it's just a matter of rigging it the way they want. They're killing small and medium banks now. That's what they're doing now. We're getting to the point where they're going to eliminate all the smaller banks. We're going to get down to like 6 banks, and then they're going to rig that CBDC on you and try to feed you that bullshit. This is what's all going to happen, man. Stuff that is absolutely ridiculous. Kind of like the Wall Street Journal having a reporter in Russia. By the way, why would any company have an American working in Russia by now? I feel terrible that man was taken by Russian authorities, but it's the same stupid shit that Brittany Griner. So Brittany Griner, you're going to go to Russia and you're going to go with weed. Oh, that's really smart. And this guy's working for the Wall Street Journal. And did he not? Why would he want to work in Russia? Don't you have enough brains to say, yeah, no, I'm not taking that assignment? Yeah, fire me. Go ahead. Why would and then the US comes out, all Americans should leave Russia. Really? Do we need that now? Do you not have enough common sense? Like, okay, I know right now I should not go to North Korea. I don't want to go to China, don't want to go to Russia, don't want to go to Cuba, don't want to go. I'm not really into going and hanging out in a communist state. It's like I saw that story last week and they kidnapped a poor man. And it's like, why would any American be in Russia? How freaking stupid is that? How stupid is that by the Wall Street Journal? Like, what are you covering there anyways? Your reporter can't really tell you the truth. Because if you start writing the truth, they'll kidnap him or her. The weirdest thing, dude. I saw it last week and I was like, oh, why is any American working in Russia? Next thing you're going to tell me we have Americans working also in North Korea. Why? Weird. JN says, OK coin shows dollars. My OK, really? When you try to purchase? No way. Unless they just changed it this second and he didn't notice it. Let me see. Oh, I'm pulling up OK coin now. When you go to purchase something, it should say only euros. Let's see. No, it only has euros. You're lying, bro. Only has euros. So when you try to purchase something, it only says euros, dude. So they haven't got an American bank yet. Either that or you don't know what you're looking at. One of the two, the guy that says that. Big O, who do you have in tonight's NCAA basketball game? Mike, I am going with UConn. They're the better team. They're the stronger team. They look, they look like a notch above the other three teams. So I'm going to go there. And listen, San Diego State should have lost. Feel terrible for FAU. Don't worry, Big O. I'll venture into dangerous places. Yes, I know you. Yes, you definitely will venture into dangerous places, you crazy bastard. I don't know how you do it. Don't know how you do it. Jan says, not lying, bro. Just looked at balance. No, you got to try to buy. It's not the balance. Go try to buy. Okay? Go try to buy and you'll see it'll say euro. That's what it is. You can't buy anything on OK Coin unless you buy it in euros. Unless you have a bank hooked up in Europe, then you're good. Oh, are there cold storage wallets for iPhones or iPads? Cold storage means offline, my friend. That's what that means, Troy. So you connect it to your laptop or your desktop or whatever, and then you disconnect. Okay? So it's not like an app. But my suggestion, Troy, to you is use Exodus and Trezor. Buy a Trezor wallet. That's cold storage. And Exodus, and they sync together. And so you can track your Exodus on your app, and then you have your Trezor on the cold storage. But they're synced together. Okay? And Exodus is like a warm wallet, not a hot wallet, because it's still, you have your 12 words. You still have your it's still a custodial wallet, in other words. Big O, thinking of getting into crypto, explain what's a cold wallet. It's basically where you keep your money offline, kind of like if you put your money in a mattress. So it's not on a bank, it's not online in an app where they could hack it. Well, same thing. Cold storage wallet is offline, So it cannot be hacked. They can't touch your money ever. That's kind of the way it is. Okay? So you're good. That's what it's all about, baby. That's what cold storage is. So you buy everything on exchanges and then you move it off into your cold storage wallet. That's what you do. That final should have been FAU and UConn if they didn't choke at the end. Yeah, it should have been. I didn't know that info about OK Coin. Thank you. You got it, J-Town. No problem. Cold storage, you put your laptop in the freezer. That too? You can do that also. Keep your laptop fresh in the freezer. Michael says, if I'm stupid and have everything on Coinbase, how do I transfer everything into something safer like a wallet? Like I said, buy a Trezor Model T, buy a Nano, buy a cold storage wallet, and then, when you get it, and buy it directly from those companies. Don't buy it from Amazon. Don't buy it from a third party. Okay? If you buy a Trezor, go directly to the Trezor company. I believe it's Trezor.io or something, and buy it there directly from them. So if you're going to buy a Nano, you're going to buy any of them, buy them directly from the company. Do not buy it third party, please. I'm just telling you. And then when you set it up, your wallet is going to have an in and an out address. So the in is what you want, and the in is what you're going to copy and paste. So you know what you do? Once you buy whatever cold storage wallet you have, then go onto YouTube and then put transferring Coinbase to, and then whatever the name of the wallet is. That video will come up and you'll be able to follow the steps right away, and it'll show you how to do it. Okay? Remember, your 12 words, never put it online, never put it on your phone, never send it on an email, never do anything online with the 12 words. Okay? Keep that all offline. That way nobody can ever get to it. And keep it in a safe place where fire and water cannot get to it and ruin it. Because obviously those words cannot be ruined. If they're ruined, you lose everything. Okay? And Michael, you're not stupid. You're just inexperienced like all of us. And so it's very intimidating. And that's why a lot of you, by the way, get scared with crypto, because you're already so intimidated. You then poo-poo it. You talk it down because deep down inside, you're afraid to actually wanting to take the step because you're not sure of yourself. Like I was the same way a couple years ago. Very unsure of myself. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. But eventually, you figure things out and you'll be fine. Big Bob says the fabulous sports babe was a hottie. Oh man, that's good. That was funny. That's funny. Spooky, you'll figure it out. Don't worry, my man. You'll figure it out. But use YouTube to help you out. That'll assist you in a big time way. Okay. All right, let me take a quick break again. Hour number 3 of the Big O Radio Show rolls on.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Welt Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welt Rheaume, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welt Rheaume can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welt Rheaume can help. Call 954-966-4646.
For over 16 years, EJD Construction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJD Construction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Yes, sir. Final hour of the program. Don't know when we'll take you to be quite honest, because there isn't a ton left really to talk about. So you guys will keep this going almost as much as you possibly can. Tonight we got the championship game going on. San Diego State taking on UConn. UConn favored by 7.5. The over and under is 132.5. San Diego State plus 320 on the money line, and UConn is minus 390 on the money line. That's some rough stuff there, dude. Overall, the Heat and the Panthers are off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow. The NHL and the NBA are off tonight. Major League Baseball is in action, so the Marlins are taking on the Twins. Panthers back in action tomorrow. They will take on, Buffalo on Tuesday, and Pittsburgh will be taking on the Devils on Tuesday. They both play almost every single exact night that's left. Florida plays on Tuesday versus Buffalo, Pittsburgh at the Devils. Thursday versus Ottawa for the Panthers, Thursday versus Minnesota for the Penguins. Saturday at Washington for Florida, Saturday at Detroit for Pittsburgh. Then the difference is the The Panthers play next Monday, a week from today, versus Toronto here. Then the Penguins will play on Tuesday versus Chicago. And then the final game of the regular season for the Panthers will be next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday versus Carolina, whereas Pittsburgh will be also ending on Thursday, but at Columbus, who's absolutely horrible. I mean, Pittsburgh gets the fortunes of playing the two worst teams in the league during their next 5 games. This is going to be tough, and they're trailing the Penguins by 1 point, 86-85. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow already. You want to stay with this whole where you're kind of trading places or keeping pace. What you don't want is tomorrow for them to win and then the Panthers lose, and then now you're really, falling behind with 4 games left. It puts you in a really difficult, position overall. So no hockey today and no NBA. The Miami Heat, they will take on the Pistons tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Brooklyn, by the way, is 2 games ahead of them, so it looks like they're pretty much stuck there, stuck like Chuck, as they say, and they'll be the number 7 seed. What a shame, dude. Brett Dodger says, Big O, Kachuk has been as advertised and more for the Panthers, a huge upgrade from Huberdeau. Yep. Oh, and by the way, I put out a poll question. You guys can go to our Twitter page at Big O Show, if you can, please. And I put out there, who is the better third wheel? And early on, just my opinion, okay? Early on, I didn't think smart sports fans were voting. I thought it was lazy basketball fans that probably don't follow hockey. Because personally, for me, I think there is a no-brainer, when it comes to this at all. I don't think it's anything to even argue about or discuss. I think it's by miles he's better, I would say. And so I threw out there, who's the better third wheel, Carter Verhaeghe or Tyler Hero? And right now, let me see, Carter Verhaeghe is leading 51.6 to 48.4 to Tyler Hero. Okay. Let me bring it up here. So if you can, vote for it. Okay. I want you to vote right now. Carter is ahead, and I think Verhaeghe is the better third wheel than Tyler Hero. That's just me. I'm just saying. I'm more impressed with the 40 goal scorer than Tyler Hero. I am. I think Verhaeghe helps you even better both ways than Tyler Hero does. And last year in the playoffs, Verhaeghe proved to me that he was more money than the guy, what's it called? Huberdeau. Just saying. John Rouse is in the house. He says, haven't used Exodus yet. Do you have to transfer Bitcoin to the asset you want, or can you buy directly? No, you can buy directly. They don't sell every coin, but you can buy directly, or like, let's say I load up on my Star Atlas there. So what I do is I buy Solana on Crow, right? And then I move the Solana over, because you can buy Solana there, but it'll be a little bit more expensive. They charge you a little bit more on Exodus. So I save money by buying it on crypto.com and then transferring it over to Exodus. And then I convert my Solana into Star Atlas. That kind of stuff. Or my Solana into Jasmy. That kind of stuff. So yes. But yeah, you can buy directly, or you can buy Solana or anything else, Litecoin or whatever, and then do the transfer. You can do it like that, however you want to do it. Eddie Lepp says we could also surpass the Islanders. We're 2 points behind them, but they played an extra game, and we win tiebreakers against them and Pitt. Yeah, I know, but yeah, I'm just going to go with the one that's 1 point ahead of us. Oh man. Let's see. Carter's more dependable. I mean, for me, Eddie, there's no argument. Carter Verhaeghe is a better player than Tyler Hero. That's just me. Okay. Big O, did you see Keith Kachuk's comments? Yeah, that the Panthers are soft. Yeah, that's been a knock on them for a while now. That was my biggest knock on them a few years ago, and then they got Radko Gudas and a couple of guys, and they got a little tougher. But they're still, and then this year, yeah, they probably get pushed around even more than last year. So yeah, they are soft. Carter doesn't play. I mean, he plays, but he is a Gorgon, a killer. Let's see. Raging Dolphin Maniac says, ho, everybody, stopping by during my lunch break. Thank you, Raging. Appreciate you. Troy T says, oh, would you blow up the Heat roster? Would you trade Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler? I wouldn't trade Bam. I don't mind trading Tyler now at this point. I mean, Troy, you listen to the show a lot, bro. I've been about blowing this up for a while now. I'm the guy that didn't want to sign Jimmy Butler to an extension. So I want to blow this thing up for sure. I've already said it. They're, O'Reilly and company in the front office are G Money. That's all. G Money. What happened to G Money in New Jack City? He got high on his own supply. I've been saying this for a while now with the Heat. Love the Heat. Love Pat Riley. Don't want him going anywhere. Don't want Mickey Harrison going anywhere. But boys have got to turn this thing up, and they've got to stop getting high on their own supply. And I want the Anthony Masons and the James Posies and the Battiers and the Ray Allens, and that's what I want. I want you to stop going out and trying to unearth some undrafted nugget and try to make Duncan Robinson James Posey, because you're not. Okay? You're not going to make Duncan Robinson Ray Allen either. And you're not making Max Strus Shane Battier. And that's what I'm tired of. Whereas they used to actually go out and get names. And now they're trying to cut corners and trying to unearth some undrafted nugget. Trying to polish that coal up and make it a diamond. Shit don't fly, man. And that's why the results are going on. And that's what and Ira may not want to believe this. Some of you out there, lots of you out there may not want to believe this. Eric Spoelstra is very dangerous. Eric Spoelstra makes everything look better than what it really is. They weren't really that good in the bubble. That was just a moment. They weren't really that good with the scrubs. 31-10 was just a moment. Last year, they weren't that good. That was just a moment. Our problem is we keep believing the shit that's happened lately is actually real, and it's not. And that's because that coach is awesome. He gets the max out of everything. But if you want him to keep doing it every single year, I'm sorry, dude. You're not squeezing, what is it, blood out of bone or something? What's that saying? No, it's enough. No. And that's the problem here. You have one of the greatest coaches that just knows how to get the max out of people, but you keep asking him to be a miracle worker, and he can only do so much for you. So I've been about, I didn't want Kyle Lowry. I didn't want the Jimmy Butler extension. I don't mind Jimmy Butler, but I would have lived out the 4-year contract, and it's over, and I move on. And as I've said before, the Heat have to stop tying themselves down to these contracts that aren't going to put you over the top. You need to stay liquid. Sign guys to 1-year deals. You have the best chef in the NBA. He's going to make everything look better than what it is, but he's not going to make it look better than what it is for 2, 3, and 4 years straight, because that's not reality. Because overachievers can only overachieve for a certain amount of time. After that, reality has to set in, and the prince becomes a frog. And you keep handing him frogs, and once in a while he'll give you a little bit of a prince, but where is James Posey? Where is Ray Allen? Please help me out. I can't see them. I don't find them. Where are they? Where's PJ Brown? Where's Dan Marley? You know? Where are the names they used to bring in? Right? What happened to them? Now you're hoping that Max Strus becomes a player, and Duncan Robinson, and why don't you go acquire people that are already players like you used to? Got to stop getting high on your own supply. You got to stop re-signing all these guys. The Whitesides of the world, the Struses of the world, the Duncans of the world. It's got to end, bro. It's got to end. None of them are special. I mean, if you sign a guy that becomes a star, then hey, God bless you. But none of them are stars. So yes, I've been of wanting to dismantle this. In fact, I would have dismantled this team that should not be have put together already as it is. This was a terrible job, unfortunately, by the front office. And the other thing is, Troy, you got to stop letting the players decide what they want. That shit don't fly. Jimmy Butler screwed himself and the fan base by wanting Kyle Lowry here. It's ridiculous. Freaking Kyle Lowry. Are you out of your mind, dude? Tell you. Wasn't Kyle Lowry over at the Acura dealership on Friday, Sean? I want to say. I think Kyle Lowry made it out to the dealership. In fact, I'm pretty sure we caught Kyle Lowry leaving the dealership, the Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines dealership. And we have film to prove it, by the way. Okay? Let me see if I can find it here and get and show you guys Kyle Lowry leaving Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines on Friday. Where's it at here, man? I tweet quite a bit, by the way. Now that I realized it. Where the hell is it? Did I lose it? Did I not? Did I pass it up and not notice it? I don't think so. Well, Sean, if you find it before I do, if you find Kyle Lowry leaving the dealership on Friday, please pull it up, because I can't find it. There it is. I found it. 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 There you go, folks. There's Kyle Lowry. Hey, man. We got it. We're frozen in time. I don't know why it's that. Why is it going round and round and round? This is like a 1.5 second video. You know, it's I don't get this. How about if I do this? There we go. Refresh. Nothing? Still can't. It's amazing. Anyway, if you look in the background, you can see Kyle Lowry leaving Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines on Friday. You see? He's all the way in the background there. I wish I could actually show it to you in motion, but, you know, because Lowry's actually moving some here. He actually can move a little bit. Lowry must be in charge of your internet. Yeah, it's as slow as he is. That makes a lot of sense. That's a good call on your part. There it is. There's Kyle Lowry leaving. You see? Kyle Lowry leaving Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Okay. So if you guys didn't think we have insight, there we go. There's insight. I caught Kyle Lowry leaving Craig Zinn. You know, most of you out there, you probably you never run into Lowry on the street. Well, look, we did. Way to go, Kyle. Thank you, my brother. Lowry and Doncic work out at the same gym. They work out the same drive-through. That's what they do. Lowry and Doncic are just going round and round in the. It's me, Lowry, and Doncic. Because I'm kind of, you know, I'm in between both. That way it gives them time to eat what they ordered and then go back around the drive-through. Okay? So that's kind of what it is. So it's me, Lowry, and Doncic going round and round in the drive-through. Now, it's not right that Lowry and Doncic look like me. It's not really what you're supposed to strive for in the NBA, but this is the world we live in. This is the way. This is the way. Just like the Mandalorians. This is the way. You must eat your way out of the league. John Padilla says Kyle Lowry is actually in the garbage truck. I think it's more that he's a transformer and he is the garbage truck. That's just me, John. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go that Kyle Lowry is a transformer, and when he's not on the court with the Heat, he's a trash collector. That's just me. But what you need to do is follow that truck around and watch him convert himself back to Lowry and walk into his house. Or when you see that truck close to the arena, you're like, oh, Lowry's off to work. And then somebody would say, oh, picking up the no, he's going to go play. He plays like trash, but it's there. Okay. Doncic is fat man basketball at its best. I know. Between him and Adrian Dantley and Moses Malone, along with the back end of what's the name of the guy that played for Atlanta for many Joe, and he played till he was like 86 years old. Because he's like 88 right now. He just retired. Joe something. He played like he was really old. That's what we got to do. We got to get like all the really old players and put them together, or fat like Doncic, who's not old but plays old man basketball. Joe Smith. That's it. Thank you. Joe Smith. Troy T says, Big O, Rio, didn't you expect the fat guy to get in shape last offseason? Yeah, I did. I did. And he did lose some weight. Let's give Lowry a little credit. He lost some weight. Not enough. Oliver and Phoenix back in the night. Oh, yes. Yes. What was Oliver? What was his name? What was his full name? He ate his way out of the league, dude. That guy had talent too, man. What a shame. What a shame. He reminds me of Jarvis Williams with the Dolphins, a young man that also ate his way out of the league. You know, that's if you're going to do that, then do what I do. Talk sports. Because, you know, you can't eat your way out of it. You can die eventually from eating too wrong stuff and all that. It'll eventually kill you, but, you know, you can do this job at least if you're fat. Oliver Miller, that's it. Thank you, sir. That was a fat dude right there, bro. That guy had triple E tits. Okay? He made Stormy Daniels look like she was flat-chested. In fact, Oliver Miller had such big tits that Trump might hire him too also. Would have been another lawsuit for him. John Hot Plate Williams, yes. Yeah, the Heat almost made a mistake with that one, huh? They gave John Hot Plate Williams. No, it was Hot Rod Williams, not Hot Plate. Hot Plate ate his way out of the Washington Wizards. I'm sorry, Bullets in those days. I remember that. Hot Plate Williams. Good job by you, Brian. That's one of those under the radar fat guys that you've got to really know your basketball, and Hot Plate Williams to know that one. It's a good one on your part, man. Strong. Gordon Shumway, Sean Kemp also. But Gordon, here's my problem with Sean Kemp. I have a major problem with Sean Kemp eating his way out of the league. He ate his way out of the league with a cocaine addiction. What? So that guy ate and did cocaine? What was he using it like sprinkles for his Frosted Flakes or something? I'm sorry, your cornflakes. Because that's what I used to do as a kid. You didn't have Frosted Flakes? Okay, that's fine. Oh, Mom, you got your little cornflakes, huh? Lame ass shit. Us kids want some sugar, bitch. So what would I do? I'd grab the cornflakes, and then I'd grab some sugar and sprinkle sugar on top of the cornflakes. Yeah, baby. That's homemade Frosted Flakes right there. Anybody make some homemade Frosted Flakes with cornflakes? Anyway. That's just a little trick, just in case. If, you want some sugar, you're a kid, you deserve it, and all they got is those lame-ass Special K or cornflakes in there, and you're like, yeah, I need a little sugar. There you go. Just set your bowl up and then sprinkle some sugar on top, baby. And then you'll start scooping it up with some sugar, and that's it. It's a beautiful thing. It tastes great. It's how you overcome the cereal you're supposed to eat. You should eat because the Special K is actually good for you. But I made Special K or cornflakes much more dangerous. But Sean Kemp to eat and do cocaine and gain weight, that's impressive. All cokeheads that I normally see, they're usually skinny people. You know what I'm saying? Usually. Unless it was already a big fat guy that's doing cocaine. Then you can't, then you can't do anything about that. Like, let's say, what was the name of the big fat guy that unfortunately passed away from Saturday Night Live that he was super funny. Tommy Boy and all that. What was his name, Sean, that I'm forgetting now?
Chris Farley.
Who? Oh, Chris Farley. Thank you. Yes. Chris Farley. You know, now, if Chris Farley starts doing cocaine, I mean, I don't expect him to get skinny. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's different. But Sean Kemp was a skinny guy who did cocaine and got fat. Weird. That's just not normal. Luka and Zion are preparing for the hot dog eating contest in April. I've got Luka over Zion. Yep. Do you know if Ruthie found another gig? I have no idea if Ruthie, just check her Twitter page. It should say it on her Twitter page if she's in a new place. I haven't checked in the last week or two. She'll bounce back, man. She's good. Good person, good pro. She'll bounce back, man. She'll be fine. It's a terrible business, man. Terrible business. God, it's a terrible business. So many good people get screwed in our business. Radio, TV, newspapers. It's not a good business. I would never suggest anybody to get in this business. You've got to be so tough-minded to be in this business because it's just going to put you through hell. What a shame. Luka Doncic is like that one person that somehow ends up with the smoke show girlfriend when no one knows how it happened. The same can be said about how unshaped he is, but still a superstar, right? He's so good. Brett says puffed wheat plus white sugar equals sugar crisp. There you go. I like it. Nice. And a bunch of you come in with the Chris Farley. Appreciate you. Pat in Asheville says, we were so poor growing up, we had to buy corn discs. Oh, man. Let me see what we got today in music history. Do have a couple things that went on today on April 3rd in music history. Let's go over a couple of these things that I saw this morning. First of all, in 1994 on this date, a forthcoming tour by Nirvana and Hole was canceled amid continuing speculation about Kurt Cobain's drug problems. In 75 on this date, the police were called to Steve Miller's home where they were told he had set fire to his friend's clothes. Authorities arrived to find that friend, Benita D'Orio, putting out the flames. But when they tried to take Miller into custody, the singer began fighting with the policemen. They charged Miller with resisting arrest. However, by the next day, D'Orio asked the charges be dropped and Miller was set free. In 2003 on this date, Linkin Park hit #1 on the album charts with their second record, Meteora. And let me tell you something. With Linkin Park, it is amazing, isn't it? Because you think about it, Hybrid Theory was their first album, Meteora was their second album, and then after that, the drop-off was so bad. The music level, the quality of the music was so average to mediocre from there on out. For the next couple of albums, they might have one or two songs. Like Hybrid Theory and Meteora are awesome albums. They are masterpieces. They are, a way of a style of music that they came up with, a genre almost, where they were really mixing a lot of different kinds of music together. It was really genius what Linkin Park was doing. It was great. But if you're honest with yourself, I think at least, after that second album, are there a couple songs that I like from different albums? Sure. But none of those albums were masterpieces, were great albums, nothing. They were all mediocre albums after that, and maybe with a song or two or something like that. Maybe. But they did not have it anymore after those first two albums. I kept buying their CDs, and it was like, wow, this is a waste. These guys lost it, unfortunately. They didn't have the same. And then obviously we lose Chester, and that's kind of disappointing that, whatever demons, unfortunately, the young man had, he could not overcome. Sucked. In 2003, on this date, tickets for the Beastie Boys Las Vegas benefit tour for the late Run DMC DJ Jam Master Jay sold out in 24 seconds. 1969, on this date, singer Jim Morrison turned himself into the FBI in Los Angeles. He was charged with 6 counts of lewd behavior and public exposure from a March 2nd concert in Miami. The rocker was later released on a $2,000 bail. And in 91, on this date, Paul McCartney recorded an episode of MTV Unplugged. That, my friends, is what happened today in music history. All right. And by the way, I am waiting because I don't think I've seen a Paul Stanley apology, because he trashed Ace Frehley. And then Ace said, I'm coming back with a vengeance, and I'm going to tell you guys some dirt. So I want to hear the dirt, bro. I want to hear the dirt. We have some breaking news. A Woj bomb. Andrew Wiggins is nearing a return to the team and is expected to be back early this week, sources tell Adrian Wojnarowski. Wiggins has missed 21 games attending to a family matter. So, little breaking news there for you all. If you have any questions, please send them in, because I don't think I have much left here on the show to talk about, to be quite honest. Chris Wilson Fishing says, Chester ripped his vocal cords. That's the reason their music got soft. He couldn't scream anymore. Is that what it is, you think? Because the music wasn't good. So it's not just about the screaming, my brother. Like Meteor and Hybrid Theory just were great albums. Like there's a shit ton of great cuts from each of those albums. I don't know if it had anything to do with his screaming or not. I'm telling you, the music was not good enough. Albums 3 and on weren't shit compared to Meteor and Hybrid Theory. Hybrid Theory is so good. God, it's so good. How much does Doncic eat? Dude played 82 games a year, full court NBA basketball. You would figure that would be enough to keep a guy in shape. Yeah. He eats a lot, obviously. Zion eats so much he can't play for his team. Boy, that guy's a disaster. 1969, lewd behavior. 2000s, wardrobe malfunction. I'm back in the New York groove. I'm back. Out of the 4 albums, when they made the albums for each person, Ace had the best song, right? Paul had a nice one, but Back in the New York Groove was the best song out of the 4 solo albums, actually. And it's interesting because Paul wrote so much of this music, of Kiss's music, that you would figure that in his solo album, he would be the one with the more successful song. But no, it was Ace Frehley. Ace Frehley is the one that has the one song that everybody knows from those 4 solo albums. That is it right there, Back in the New York Groove. Nobody else had a memorable song like Ace Frehley. It's a shame that all the ugliness has happened between them. It's like the Geezer Butler thing with Black Sabbath and stuff. I hate that, man. Kind of sucks because it gets in the way of, might be your favorite band or something like that. Nowadays, bands are all about singles, probably. Matthew Hernandez, they might have overachieved and they were possibly just an average band that happened to make some of the most iconic music of all time. Now, maybe, Matthew, I don't know if you call it average, right? Because that's not fair. Because at one point you were elite. Because those two albums, Hybrid Theory and Meteora, are elite albums. Those are great, great, great albums. I can listen to those albums all the time with no problem whatsoever. I just think it's so hard to make music. And notice, everybody has some kind of a limit to what they can do. Okay? And sometimes it's the Starlight Vocal Band with Afternoon Delight, and that's their one song. Or Psy, what's it called? The Gungan style or whatever that song that Psy did. Like you're good for one song. Then sometimes you're good for just one album. And you do this one album that's just absolutely phenomenal. You're The Church, okay? And you do Starfish. And it is an excellent album. And then they could never, ever do it ever again. They could never come up with another album again. They might come up with an extra song and another album down the line or whatever, but they never came up with an album like that again. Couldn't do it. And this happens to a lot of bands, a lot of artists. They might be a one-hit wonder. They might be a one-album wonder. They might only have 2 or 3 albums. Or maybe they have 10. But then at one point, it's over. Like Billy Joel has 8,000 hits. But it's over for him already. He doesn't have any hits anymore. Right? That's it. He reached his pinnacle. His stream ended. His run was over. And that's the weird thing about music. You just don't know how far you're going to go, how much music you've got in you. How many times, like, look at U2. Since 1980, they continue every album they take out. They've got hits every single time. That's hard to do, dude. Madonna did it for a long time. Didn't matter what album she took out, she had hits. She adjusted with the times and continued to put out hits. It's one of those things. So you can't, I don't want to label them like they might have overachieved or they were an average band because, my God, dude, Meteor and Hybrid Theory, you just are not average when you make that. You're on a roll at that moment. You have the magic going on at that moment. And that's, I think, what the musician can't, like, they can never measure it. They don't know when it's going to end. They don't know when the fountain of music is going to end, that they don't produce winning, or not winning, but, hits, in other words. It's an odd thing. Hey, listen, athletes, they can play at a high level to a certain extent, and then before you know it, Ben Roethlisberger gets super old on you, and you go, oh, my God, Ben Roethlisberger can't throw it for more than 20 yards anymore. Oh, my God, Drew Brees, bro, it looks terrible. 2 years ago, he's throwing for 5,000 yards. 2 years later, he looks like he is completely overmatched. And in a way, it's kind of the same thing. You don't know when the flow of music is going to stop coming out of your head and your heart, that you're going to stop producing hits, that you're going to stop producing music that matters, music that impacts people, music that sells. Nobody knows when it's going to be. Loverboy had a great album, the first album, and then they had another even bigger album, the second album. Then they had another really good album, the third album. And then after that, they lost it. They were never the same again. They couldn't come up with hits. They couldn't produce. And this happens, and I can use all kinds of bands and artists as examples of how they started and how they ended. So, but I can't, when you create Meteora and Hybrid Theory, I can't call you average. I can't say that you were really mediocre or anything, because you created 2 albums that are just historic. And not only historic, mind you, you're creating a new genre of music almost at the same time, with that blend that you're using of rock and pop and rap and all that kind of stuff. That was something that had not been seen before. That was unheard of, that kind of stuff. So not only are you creating 2 iconic albums, you're also groundbreaking in the process. When you're groundbreaking, I can't look at you as average. I look at you as you were special. You had something going on. It's just really hard to maintain. It's hard to keep having hits, man. Really is. I am amazed at times with Morrissey that he continues to have songs in every album that he comes out with. It's pretty amazing. Now, is he going to come with the magic that he had with the Smiths? He'll never achieve that. That was different. It's a whole another level. Who is ready for the new Power Rangers movie? Okay. Don't really care. Big O, are you a Trivium fan? Yeah, I do like Trivium. Yeah, good band. Big O, I thought Christy Brinkley was Billy Joel's pinnacle. Random memory. I had a stupid friend from high school that once asked me how to spell U2. Very nice. Alanis Moore said, Jagged Little Pill, nothing else after. Her next album had a couple of hits, but you're right. She never, ever, 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 ever came close to Jagged Little Pill, which is a masterpiece. Yeah, and I love her voice. It's so distinctive. Let's see what else. We have 1,000-person venue here, says Pat in Asheville. They get a lot of great bands. A security guy told me we get them on the way up and then again on their way down. That's funny. That's funny. Big O, what do you think about IG selling blue checks? You know, I got to tell you something. I have my blue check. Obviously, I already had a blue check before they started charging for them now. And I'm deciding if I want to keep it or not, because I really like the edit button, because I screw up so much. And you know how you have 30 minutes to like correct it? And I use it all the time. That's the only reason why I would keep it. I don't even care about the blue check mark itself. I just like the edit part because I'm such a mess that I don't reread stuff when I post it. I just like type it really quick and then send it out. And then I look at it after. I go, oh, God, that sounded terrible. Oh, that's wrong order. Or I misspelled that. And then I go back to the edit button. So the only now I won't do it for IG, but for Twitter, I'm torn. Do I pay just for the edit button because I'm a total screw up? And that's the only thing that I may end up paying just for the damn edit button. Maybe I'll do it for a month or two and see if I should continue and then decide after. But yeah, I'd rather not pay for it, quite honestly. But I do love the edit button because I'm such a screw up. The more you ignore me, the closer I get. You're wasting your time. There we go. Big O, say Rangers in a deep voice. Rangers. Rangers. Big O, are we really going into another Dolphin season with questions on the offensive line, especially now with a budding star QB that was twice concussed? Jan, you need to go listen to my segment about the offensive line. You need to listen to that. You want a piece of my heart. Edge walked out to Slayer's South of Heaven last night at WrestleMania. I was all about it. Go Power Rangers. You guys are into the Power Rangers. Are you a Power Rangers guy too, Sean? Are you looking forward to a Power Rangers movie? Okay. Yeah, not really my cup of tea. The mind-blowing stat was San Diego State never had a lead in the second and still won will be rent-free in my head, as the kids say. I know. I felt bad. It was all that whole possession, dude, where they just could not get a goddamn rebound. And every time they kept the free throws going and the shots, and God, that was the most frustrating thing I've seen in a long time in basketball. I felt so bad for FAU there. With Miami, I felt terrible, but Miami never had a chance. So, okay, you know what I'm saying? But FAU should have won. And for that moment in time where they just kept allowing them to get rebounds after missed free throws and kept the ball alive and kept shaving down that lead until they tied it. That was where they lost it. That's where they lost the entire game. Sucks. I was more of a Transformer guy back in the day. I was a TMNT kid, watched Power Rangers, but was obsessed with the Turtles. All that shit is way before me, gents. So I have no allegiance to Power Rangers, no allegiance to Ninja Turtles, no allegiance to any of that stuff because I was already probably clubbing when you guys were watching Power Rangers. I was probably at a club. So, yeah, no, I was probably at a concert. I was probably getting laid while you guys were watching the Power Rangers and all that other stuff. That is way after me. You covering the Dolphins already, O? Yeah, we've been covering the Dolphins. Big O, were you going to make? We're going to make you an official Power Ranger teal color. All right, you guys can make me an official Power Ranger teal color if you want. Not that I know anything about Power Rangers or Ninja Turtles. Okay, don't really know anything about them. FAU did everything right to win that game until the 5 minutes. Yeah. That was frustrating, dude. I was a Justice League guy back in the day in the 70s. See, now we're talking. Now we're talking, Carrillo. Justice League is right up my alley. That's it. Big O, were you ever a MacGyver fan from the 80s and 90s? Nope, never really watched MacGyver. Not the new one and certainly not the old one. I mean, I would run into it, but I wasn't really watching MacGyver, No. Big O, at least we saw Yogi Bear, and the Ranger Smith. He was a Power Ranger too. Yes, he was. Hey, Yogi, what'd you say, boo-boo? Dukes of Hazzard? Come on, you got to watch General E. Lee and Barbara Bach. Are you kidding me? Although when you think about it nowadays, okay, Barbara Bach was a very good-looking woman. Not much of a butt, by the way, after watching it again nowadays. It's like that's one of those things that I was so young in those days that I probably did not require ass as much. But as I got older, that's a requirement. She didn't have much of an ass, by the way. Crockett and Tubbs are my superheroes. Love that show. That's the greatest soundtrack of any TV show in history. Okay? In history. The greatest soundtrack by miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. They were cutting edge when it comes to music. Miami Vice. That was cutting edge because they had all the top songs always in there, man. Always, dude. It was at another level. I love Supernatural. Those guys are always rocking out, and they play a lot of rock, and I love it, but it stays in the rock genre. Whereas Miami Vice had, all kinds of music. It could be dance, it could be pop, it could be new wave, it could be rock, but it all depended on what kind of a scene you were tied in. You know what I'm saying? But Miami Vice's soundtrack was beastly, dude. Beastly. Nothing like it. That was really smart on their part. Big O was watching boring MASH. I hated that show as a kid. Oh, I have no problem with MASH, dude. MASH was fun. MASH, the problem with MASH is that it was more adult humor. So if you were young at that time, you weren't going to enjoy the comedy nearly as much. You would enjoy the slapstick part of it when they were playing jokes on each other. But the other stuff, because of the dialogue that went on with it, and because of obviously everything that went on before it and Vietnam and all that other stuff, there was a different, there was a God, how would I use it? It was, it was kind of a, oh man, I don't know how I would describe it, but it's not just general, like, basic comedy. There was a little bit more to it. So that's why MASH is not going to be appreciated by people who were really, really young during that time. But if you then rewatch it as you get older, you then go to appreciate a little bit more what you probably didn't understand or pick up then. It's kind of the kind of the way I want to. It's more adult humor. Let's put it that way. Okay? Than just basic pranks and jokes, which, yeah, that went on, but there was a little bit more to it with MASH. And so that's probably why I think it was like that. Miami Vice in the air tonight. Yes, obviously. My superheroes were Eric Estrada and the other dude on the patrol bike. Ponch and whatever the other guy's name is. Is that what you're saying? That's funny. You guys are a trip. What do we got going on? Still stuck at 28 here. Yeah. 28,000. Okay. All right. Not bad. Not bad. Strong, actually. To be quite honest, it's actually strong that it's held where it's held in a big time way. So I'm very impressed with that. But it's about to bust. I can tell you that. That's for sure. You can tell it's about to make a run to 30. All right. We are out of here, folks. We thank Ira Winderman and Alan Poupart. We thank Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend that masters this entire platform. We will see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place, same bat channel. We love you all out there. Have a great one.